This is Kyle Juszczyk, and you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, swings to his right, gets to the 20. He's at the 30. Needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline. Breaks the third tackle. Comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the red zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, gets back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
Well, the Ravens 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Gets on third down. He'll take it himself. For first down. And more. Alex Smith is in. Touchdown.
His left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in the post. And it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49. It is second down. Ryan takes the snap. Goes to slant to the left side. It's Michael. Intercepted. The 49ers pick it. And Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for a touchdown. No greater redemption.
Kaepernick gets it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Yeah. Damn, I forgot to remove the picture again. Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we're here to bring you guys a fun-filled, action-packed, high-energy episode, man. Playtime is over. Guys, the pads are on, and we are here to break it all down. We got some more people that are going to be jumping in soon, so you guys don't worry about that. So I'm going to run through these formalities while we wait. All right, if this is your first time here, first and foremost, we want to thank you for stopping by. Hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on those notifications so you know exactly when we're going live. We'll be bringing you guys some breaking news videos and stuff like that very, very soon, so you don't want to miss those, all right? Also, follow us on some of our social media platforms. We have Twitter and Snapchat. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. It's the number 9, Nothing But 9 ERS. All right. We also have Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitch, and that is Nothing But Niners. That is spelled all the way out. I'm your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL, and to my left is my man muted over here. He is Brian stated _Niner. Brian, what's going on, man?
Hey, another day in paradise, ready to talk some football. You know, we got the pads coming on, and we got some practices to talk about since the last time you and I have been on here, and hopefully whoever else joins in here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We got a lot of stuff to go over. The pressers are coming out and everything in full force. Let me just ask you a blanketed statement here, and this is not leading at all, but what has been something that has caught your ear, your eye? I don't know if you saw the image that we put up here. There's a lot of players that are back in the mix that people haven't seen in a while. I love this graphic. I mean, you got Bosa back from injury, Hurd back from injury, Jimmy Garoppolo back from injury, D Ford back from injury, and even Deebo Samuel, who was also battling injury. All these guys are reportedly there. They're participating. They're lined up with the pads on. I mean, what storyline is one that you're paying the most attention to, Brian?
Right now, I think just been D Ford. That's my, because we expected, or we had hoped that he would have an impact this season. You know, we'd even talked about what the minimal impact would be if we think that he was successful. And from all accounts that I've heard so far, we're going to get D Ford that I don't think has ever played for the Niners. Just that's what it sounds like. You know, I love the other news that's coming out with, Bosa, but for me, I expect that he's coming back. I mean, obviously you can't ever truly 100% expect something, especially when it comes from injuries. But I think the biggest one for me is going to be D Ford, even bigger than Hurd, just because I've seen Hurd in tape, but in a couple of clips, but not really getting a whole lot of raves. I mean, there's a little bit out there, but to me, with as far down as D Ford was, just due to his injuries, that I'm happy to see him back. I think that brings so much to this team.
Yeah. there was so much anticipation of him, but the negative way. He's going to be cut. He's going to be traded. He's going to be, he's going to retire. There was so much negative around him that it was it was draining. It's why guys like Hurd end up shutting down their social media platforms. And to hear that he's back, not just back and working on the sidelines, because we heard that last year. We heard that he was at the facilities and he was working out. This guy has got the pads on. He's participating in team drills for the first time since the Super Bowl week. Like, that's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy. It's like mind-blowing, right? So, Tony, what are your thoughts about that?
He's on mute.
I know he's on mute, but he was like doing something weird with his mouth.
No, I was chewing on something.
Oh, okay. What are your thoughts on Ford being back in the lineup, man? D Ford is back in the mix.
It's very, very encouraging, and it gives the future of this defensive line, like it could be dangerous. Would add an Ekubom, Bosa, Armstead, all the pieces that they added, even Hurst, even is it Hurst? Yeah, from
Hurst Key and
Hurst Key, yeah. And it's just the depth is insane, and it's really good, and I'm really happy about it.
And so the question that I asked Brian was, what's one of the storylines of this offseason, this time that we're in right now, that you're most excited to watch? His was D Ford. Is that what you're talking about? The defensive line, the key, or are you just talking about the rotation, or is it something else? Which one are you most excited about?
Specific group?
No, just whatever storyline you're the most excited about. I'm just asking what you're
excited about the team getting ready for the first preseason game in general. I don't give a shit about one specific thing or headline. I'm just happy to see football again, and I just want to see all the pieces that were added to the roster. I want to see it come together, and I want to see it take off.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. I like that. I like that a lot, man. So I'm going to pop this image back up here one more time, man, because I'm going to show you guys what I'm most excited about. All right. We got 2 pass rushers. We got Jimmy Garoppolo. And we got 2 wide receivers. And I'm telling you guys right now, if Jalen Hurd is healthy, and I know that's a big if. I know it's a big if. But if this man can somehow pull this off and get back to the place where I think he can be, forget what you guys think and all that. Sorry, no offense. But like what I think he can be in this system, I'm telling you guys, our wide receiver 3 position is solved, and it ain't him. It'll be Debo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm saying it because he's wide receiver 2. He's wide receiver 2, in my opinion, man. The size, the strength, the power, the footwork, and everything. If he can stay healthy, I know it's a big if, but right now he's in there, and I'm counting on it, man. And I'm banking on it, and I might be ready to slide my chips to the middle of the table. I might be willing to go all in, but it's a little too soon. I got to see him get through preseason first before I can really get that way. You know what I'm saying? So just got to pump the brakes a little bit there. All right. So all right, that's pretty cool. Tony's ready for preseason to get here. Brian's excited about D Ford being back in the mix and what that means to the team, and that is a huge turnaround. People that we were once expecting to have to be starters and key contributors suddenly become rotational pieces. Fresher legs and the passing downs. Oh my God, the packages that they could put together. It'll be a lot of fun. Tony, you want to say something?
No, I'm good. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's run down this topic list that we have here because I'm here to talk some shit, guys. I'm here to talk some shit. All right. And I'm not going to stir the pot. I will not talk about Jimmy versus Trey today. I do have a Trey zone section that I'm going to do at the end of the show, but not right now. All right. But I do want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay. So one of the topics for tonight was how will Jimmy or Trey affect the future free agents? And we're talking about play, right? Not financially. It could be financially, but how will they affect them? So, I was on the phone earlier with Tony, okay, and we were talking about if one quarterback starts the whole season, the kind of year a guy like Deebo Samuel could have versus if the other quarterback started, okay, and what that could do to their long-term contract. Because, all right, Brian, let me ask you like this. If Deebo has another year where he's a gadgety guy, gets injured often, it's time for contract talks. Do you think that the team is going to be like anxious or excited to give him a big deal? Like, is he going to get lowballed? Like, do they even offer him a contract to come back? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because I think his usage is directly going to affect how the team and what the team offer him in an extension.
Well, I would agree that his usage is definitely going to reflect exactly what he's going to get paid, or what the Niners are going to want to offer him, I should say. That may not get paid here. But he is a Kyle and John guy, and he fits into what – I mean, they drafted him into this system for a reason, because they like what they saw in South Carolina. And so, I think that he'll get what he deserves from this team. And if he thinks he deserves more, then he's going to have to go somewhere else to get it. But you're right. I mean, depending on what the quarterback is, the situation, if they play him like they played him last year and they utilize him in that fashion, then, that may bring his value down, depending on how that's also looked at by the team. I mean, maybe the team wants him to be the gadgety guy. You don't know. We don't know,
Very true. Very, very true. I like that. Now, I just use Debo as an example, right? But there's other guys whose futures may or may not depend on contracts. Can you guys think of anybody? Is there anyone that you think could be pending the quarterback situation? This is a big moment for certain guys, in my opinion.
I think Debo on offense. Debo's the guy that you really have to look at.
As far as changing his usage, or just
his value as far as the quarterback play, like Mike just said. Because
go ahead.
But I mean, when you switch up your quarterbacks, if that's what you're talking about, you're going to change how. I mean, you could potentially change how you use him, right?
Correct. And if it's more of a receiver down the field, it could bring him more value in a contract, and that would force the 49ers to have to pay more rather than strictly a gadget guy, like a jet sweep guy, a bubble screen guy. I mean, he is who he is. He's a talented player. We've seen him in South Carolina. He put the ball in his hands. He's like a man possessed. But if you want to get paid like a wide receiver, you would have to perform like a wide receiver instead of a gadget player.
And you need to be available. That's been part of his problem too.
Could the availability be related to the play and how he's utilized? I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that wasn't anything for you guys to answer.
I mean, if it was more shoulders, if he was having problems with shoulders, concussions, stuff like that, injuries suffered from hard contact rather than soft tissue sprinting, like hamstrings and shit like that, you could say that, but I don't think the injuries, unless it's specifically a contact-related injury, meaning a shoulder or a concussion, I don't think that should be part of the equation. I mean, if he's not healthy, period. But when you're evaluating it as a wide receiver rather than a weapon, it's two different categories.
But if you have just a question, I mean, if you have a player who at this juncture seems to be a little bit susceptible to lower body or mid body injuries, groin, calf, whatever, ankles, is that someone you want sprinting down the field, or do you want to continue using them as a gadget player?
Listen, if he's making plays for you, it doesn't matter what he does. You want him to be a part of that. You want him to be on the field doing it.
Right. But what I guess what I'm getting at is it doesn't matter which quarterback's in at that point. If you're going to use how you utilize him is based on what he's best at.
No comment. I'm not talking about quarterbacks. No comment. I'm not.
I didn't name a quarterback. They could left it open. It doesn't matter. It could have been Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying it like.
No, I get what
you're going to utilize the receiver, which he is, to the best of his ability. Whether he's a downfield receiver or a midfield receiver, is he a Bourne? Is he a Welker? Is he a Debo out of the backfield?
This is a chicken or the egg type of thing here.
Kind of.
Is he being utilized like that because of the quarterbacks, or is he being utilized like that because of that's what he does best? So I kind of get where you're going with it. All right. So there are some players on the other side of the ball that I think could be affected by quarterback play. How crazy does this sound, right? We know that defenses get a lot more aggressive if they believe in the scoring abilities of the offense. Okay, and that's going to cause some of these guys with deals that are coming up. It's gonna affect these guys. So again, I'm going to ask you guys that question: who are some of the guys that need their quarterback? Who, regardless of who it is, they need their quarterback to have a good year so that they can go out there and get the money that they are trying to get. Who are some of the guys on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, who's on? I mean, you have Verrett on a 1-year deal. You have Mosley on a 1-and-1.
Yeah.
Tart is a 1-year deal, but he's on the COVID list and he has the turf toe injury. I guess you would have to consider those guys as your secondary guys to make plays.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I think that D line is going to be aggressive regardless. And I don't think that. I mean, obviously, you can have a better year. Say, like, Fred, just keep picking off quarterbacks. If that's what he wants. So you get that, but that has nothing to do with our quarterback play.
Mm-hmm.
At least not from my point of view. But I kind of understand where you're going with it. But I'm kind of also at a loss because they're not going to face our quarterback. So are you saying that our defense won't play as hard if we're not winning?
No. So if we come out and we're averaging 33 points a game, right? That means that opposing offenses are going to have to come out passing. That plays into the laps of the pass rushers, the corners. You know what? Like it helps them with what they're trying to do. And some guys aren't good if they can't be aggressive. Some guys are good if they have to pull back. And so that's what I'm saying. Like if there are some players on the defensive side of the ball that need the quarterback to have a good year. Good year meaning more points and effective offense. So that way they can really showcase what they are. Like I think Dre Greenlaw, right? I think Greenlaw is a guy that if this team is in a bunch of close games and he's got to think more than just go, it's going to look bad for him.
You think? I mean, when he's had his biggest standout plays is when we've been having our necks on the line.
That was an interception, right? But I think
that was the stop at the goal line.
Stop at the goal line with the Seahawks. Interception too, but I mean, he stands. I mean, I wouldn't say that it has to be a large scoring disparity. He seems to be on top of his game, just in the right place at the right time in those pinnacle moments. So I think he's going to get paid accordingly. Is he going to get paid by like Ford or Fred? No, I don't think so. I mean, that's not up to me to decide, but I don't think he's at that. They're not at the same level.
Right, they're not the same caliber linebacker. That's a good point. You're right. Those two plays in particular were right there. Like, all right, biggest moment of the game. You're absolutely right. So that's a good call there. I don't know. I feel like when I watched him last year, it just seemed like, I don't know. He felt different to me last year. Maybe I'm alone in this. He felt more hesitant to me, and I don't know if it was because of the games and being afraid to make mistakes or whatever. I just didn't. That we were calling him Big Play Dre at one point.
Right.
I didn't see that guy last year. Maybe it's just me.
Are you insinuating that he may have taken his foot off of the gas because they were not having a winning season?
Well, I don't think he did it because of, but like, damn, I don't want to be the reason something goes wrong. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to. So he's like concentrating extra hard. He's just a little more hesitant than normal. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like I said, this is just how I feel it all went down. But Tony talked about somebody, and he was talking about Tart and the injury and things like that. And we actually got a really good soundbite today from Tart's replacement in camp. Did I just do that? Brian, did you do that?
I did it.
Oh.
Because I don't know. Tony's camera's pointed way, so all I see is like mostly white. So I was just trying to even it out.
Oh, with his camera being up.
Right, he's like hiding behind our banner or the red banner.
I got you. What did I just do?
Oh, that's better.
You're talking about Wilson?
Yeah. So we got a chance to hear from D'Amico Ryans today at a presser, and he was asked a question: what player on your defense has impressed you the most? And the answer surprised the shit out of me. So of course, I'm here to share it with you guys now. Okay.
Right.
So you get to be surprised with me. Here we go.
Say that again. Who have you been pleasantly surprised with on the defensive side?
Surprised? I don't know. I mean,
I mean, the guy that sticks out to me on our defense right now is Tavon. It's Tavon Wilson. I talked about him earlier, but Tavon has really been, surprising from the standpoint of just his leadership, his communication, his focus, and his consistent approach.
All right. So that was his answer there, and then he kind of just teed it off. But who is Tavon Wilson, guys? Like, did we cover him when the Niners signed this guy? Like,
right, safety, 6 foot 1 or 210, I think, something like that.
We did the breaking news on him when he signed. Like you said, he's like Brian said, he's 6 foot 200, 210, somewhere between there. He played with Detroit, the Colts. I think Corey Youngland was with Detroit in some capacity when he was there.
He was with the Patriots, I thought, too, right?
Yeah, he was with the Patriots. I just know because Youngland was in Detroit when he was there. So he's a vet. He's experienced. When we did the breaking news, we talked about how he can offer that depth, that veteran depth and special teams contributions, but it seems like he's a little bit more than that, especially now with Tart down.
Right.
He's a 1-year deal. And to be honest with you, just to go off topic for 1 second, the Niners made two pretty under the radar signings, and it's proving to be high impacts for the team right now. It's him and Sheffield.
Yep.
Yeah. Sheffield. And they're both 1-year deals, and the ability to identify this talent, bring them in on 1-year deals, and now have pretty decent roles on this defense and offense respectively. It just shows you the ability of this front office to identify talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I got to tip my hat to Hightower on that too, because he's pushing for his special team guys. I mean, we all talked about in the offseason, that was one area that this team definitely needed to improve upon was their special teams. And so going out and finding those guys and then having those guys turn around and be potentially contributors at their positions as well, that's what you're looking for. You want that versatility. But, to me, when I heard D'Amico say that, I interpreted it as his surprise because I don't think that he expected him, to step up in that same fashion. Like Sherfield, I think we expected him to come in and compete for, wide receiver 4 or 5 or whatever, but, be it predominantly a special teams player. Whereas Wilson's kind of the signing, at least to me, it seemed like it was special teams interest, but camp body probably. Just looking at our roster, but having Tart out gives him that opportunity, and you have to seize that moment when it comes, and it seems like he is.
Yeah. And that's what I liked hearing. It's like Tart's not in there. But if you listen to when D'Amico was praising him, he was talking about communication. And that was something that we talked about was going to be needed here. And that's what we get when Tart and Ward are out there together. So to hear them say that the communication was at a high when he's in there was very, very encouraging to me. I really liked hearing that. And so I just thought it was worth highlighting about that because, we talk about all the big names so often and, we talk about opponents and stuff like that. But the guys that are working their way through the rung, this guy's been in the league for a while, since 2012. He's not some, he's not a spring chicken, whatever that means. I never really knew.
Youngster.
So are all chickens born in spring?
That's just typically when they are at the places where you go buy chickens.
Really?
They can be at any time of year they can be born, but when farmers go get their chickens, that's usually typically in the spring. And Wilson, this is year 9 for Wilson.
Yeah. So I said since 2000. Since 2012.
Yeah.
Yep. So all right, well, that was that. Another thing I wanted to talk about today was where to go. I have written down here, injuries be damned. Guys with histories of injuries are overcoming. So we got the graphic here with all these guys here. I probably should have started with this one, right? But who on the list are you most excited to come back? Now, Brian, you kind of gave your answer already.
Right.
I touched on mine with Hurd already. Tony, who on the list of players coming back from injury?
I'm different. We could talk about. I'm very excited about Ford, but being that Brian said it, we'll touch on. I'm going to go with Bosa. I'm very excited to see Bosa come back, and like I said, like Brian said, the ability to add these two plus what they added in free agency is going to be scary.
That line is going to be in the depth and rotation. The pieces that can just, like you said, you guys were talking about, the packages that they can put into place is just asinine right now. And and you talked about, or at least Fred talked about it a little bit, with the package of the rush that he may be doing and stuff like that. I mean, obviously he didn't want to give too much away at his presser, but just talking about how DeMeco may be incorporating him into that as well, more so than he has been previously. If I was a quarterback in the NFL, that'd scare the crap out of me seeing all those guys, coming my way, especially depending on my line.
Did you buy that?
Buy what?
That Fred Warner might be getting involved in the pass rush a little bit more, blitzing?
I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think so. I think you're going to see that. I really do.
I think part of it, is I don't know that people give DeMeco enough credit. Maybe they think he's just going to carbon copy what Saleh did because it seemed to be successful with the personnel they had. But I think you're going to see some changes, and I think they're more aggressive probably than even what they were.
All right.
I think the base of the defense is going to remain the same under Saleh, but once they go into their packages, I think it's going to be totally different than what Saleh did. Totally different.
All right. I'll ask this. Let me ask the question the right way here. Why would Fred have to blitz if all these pass rushers are here and healthy?
It's not because they're here and healthy. It's giving the offense different looks. Mm-hmm. You're trying to make the quarterback to jump and make a bad throw. Let's face it, our secondary, as much as no one wants to admit it, they might not want to admit it, there is concerns across that secondary. Okay, so clearly we talked about this numerous amounts of times. This team invested heavily in the front seven and placed in the back four. So we're in the secondary, whether it's 4, 5, 6, whatever they decide to do, whatever package. This team believes building from the inside back on both ends, offense and defense. So with that being said, rather than just putting 4 hands in the ground and going crazy, you could throw in different zone looks, zone concepts where you'll see D Ford peel back and play the zone in the middle of the field, and Fred Warner will blitz an A gap on a stunt or something. It's not to generate the pass rush. It's causing confusion for the offense. You're trying to confuse the quarterback on the offense to make a stupid throw and force a turnover.
And only because I'm naive on his pre-Niner days, did Ford ever play back when he was with Kansas City, or was he always a defensive end? They do 3-4 there, right? I can't remember if he's ever stood up. He dropped, I think, with Saleh a couple times in the zone blitz where he would send Quan off the edge or Tart off the edge, and you would see him drop back into the middle zone. But again, it's not because they don't have faith in their down 4. It's because you want confusion. If you cause confusion, that's how you get turnovers more easily when you don't have elite talent at the corners.
I guess that's going to be big in games where we're playing against like rookie quarterbacks and whatnot, like that. That's when it'll come.
You want to cause confusion. That's what you want. Even if you play, like I think you're going to see a lot of 3 safeties looks this year because of Betcher. That was his philosophy in Arizona and New York. You want to create that confusion. They have not seen this defense with DeMeco Ryans at the helm. They only know with Saleh. So when you throw them a curveball, that's going to be a potential for this defense to jump and make it a play and potentially cause a turnover. Even if it's not an interception, it could be just on a 3rd and 10, and he has to throw it in the ground because Fred Warner is running free at him. That's a win.
Yeah. And the cool thing with DeMeco versus how Saleh was, unfortunately, Saleh was part of the building process, so he had to develop. You remember 2 years in, everybody was like, get Saleh out of here, right? And then it changed drastically, after the 19 season, obviously, or during the 19 season. But DeMeco was a part of that, so, he still has that base of Saleh. So, I don't think that you're going to see a step down, because we have a new DC. You're still going to have a lot of the same players, right? And somebody who has been familiar with that system while he was coaching the linebackers, now he's the DC, and now he's just going to add his wrinkles to make it even more difficult for opposing teams to deal with.
Okay. All right. So none of you bastards said that you were excited to see my quarterback coming back, Jimmy Garoppolo, from injury. Just want to put that out there.
You want to put what out there? That none of us said anything?
None of you guys said you were excited to see my quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, coming back.
You're not going to bait me, one. But two, you said who am I most excited to see back. Ford is the one I'm most excited to see back.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to put that out there. Just dropping some little sprinkles, sprinkling them out there, right? No comments on me.
Get that shit going.
Tony,
all right.
The shirt. Create the shirt. You make millions off that shirt. Create that shirt.
What's going on, Nick?
What's up? I can't stay on long, but I am excited to see your quarterback come back.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Bring the Jimmy G love in here, man. Hell yeah. Let's go.
So, hold on.
Busted. All right. I'm gonna drop him out. I don't want to get in trouble. Let me drop it. I don't know if we can do this.
Can't watch that either.
Well, he'll come back. I'll let him double back and explain. It's fine. So here's another topic that I have here, right? Perks of a full off season. All right, players, coaches that benefited the most from OTAs and going and on. So I want you guys to think of someone, and you guys can highlight them. Some of the camp reports that maybe you've heard about people, or people that you think would benefit that maybe we haven't heard reports on because reporters just aren't asking about them. Who do you guys think has benefited from what we've experienced so far throughout training camp?
Good, bro.
Thinking here. Of course, you asked me something I'm definitely not prepared for.
I'll go first then. The whole team.
Oh, look at this. He's really a GM. Like, he thinks team all the time.
Right.
The whole team suffered during COVID.
That's true. Obviously we're just to throw a name out there, but Harris, being rotated out of the safety group and into the linebackers, that's something I'm excited about. Because we want to, just as we always have, you want to put the best 53 or the best 22 guys on the field, right? For starters. And if you can rotate him in to take, if I don't know what his situation is yet, but if you got somebody else that you can put in there, if you feel that Harris is one of the best guys on the team, it gives you more versatility to keep him on this roster instead of just locking him into the safety group. But I mean, moving him to linebacker, if that's something that's beneficial, that may open up a spot for Maiden to stay on this crew too. So, I mean, it has all kinds of, as Mike likes to say, the butterfly effect going on there.
Yeah. All right. I think one of the guys now you have some, in my opinion, obvious answers like Kinlaw getting his first full offseason, right? Like, I think that's huge. I think that's going to pay major dividends when the time comes. That's going to be something that we're going to happily collect on and be like, yeah, he looks like a much improved player. I think another guy that can, he hasn't been here. I was going to say Mosley. Like, this was, to me, the offseason of Mosley. Like, he was supposed to have, in my opinion, a really good offseason. This is a guy that, look, we're showing some faith in you. We're bringing you back in here. What can you do for us? You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like this is when he was supposed to be shining, like right now. We're not quite getting it, but it's all right. We'll see what happens. So now that I gave you guys a couple of names to think of, or, is there anyone else that you guys want to go before I give my other answer?
You got anybody else, Tony? Like, you want to specify anybody?
McGlinchey.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good one, especially with all the weight and everything. That is a really, really good one.
McGlinchey. I'll just do that one. McGlinchey. Definitely.
The improvement that we've heard of, Sanu, I mean, that helps solidify that wide receiver room if he can continue to do what he's been doing. I know that we had a lot of concerns. I had concerns about wide receiver. I mean, I didn't have it high on my priority in the draft. I thought we would address it from, free agents. But I think just having that, if Hurds can be healthy and Sanu's out there, you've already got Brandon and Debo out there. So, I mean, that just helps solidify that those four right off the bat. And then you can start adding some, Sherfield with the special teams and what he brings to, or what he seems to be bringing in training camp. That's five pretty much from my perspective, kind of like lock receivers if they can continue what they're doing, and they're still bringing guys in. They're getting rid of guys that they were probably on the bubble or just camp bodies, if you will, and they're bringing in other pieces, with Webster coming in, just going out and finding another guy that they could try to manipulate between, position and special teams. So it gives you that opportunity when you have those guys that are stepping up. So I like the fact that Sanu had that time to heal up more so and get back on board with what this team's doing. And it sounds like he's going to be part of this 53. So,
all right. So let's talk about Sanu real quick. I keep going back and forth on this guy making this roster. And today I settled on we're in trouble if Sanu makes his roster. I don't think it's a good thing if Mohamed Sanu makes his roster. Please tell me I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong because you're not looking for him to come in and take on a large role. Sanu knows his worth to this team. He knows his role on this team. He's not going to be challenging and saying, I want the ball more. No, he's at the point of his career and he was most productive under Kyle Shanahan's system in Atlanta. And he was the original guy Kyle wanted, but the price was too high.
Right.
Now they have an opportunity. They brought him in last year. Yes, they did cut him, but clearly he said, and Kyle said, he wasn't there. He wasn't ready. He had an issue that he was working through. They called him in the offseason. Mo, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Comes in, and he's been playing good.
Kyle said that Mo called him.
Okay. They talked on the phone. Is that?
But wait. But doesn't that change something to you?
What?
That don't change something?
It doesn't to me. I mean, he's got history with Sanu, and now Sanu's telling him the things that I had wrong with me last year that kept me from being part of this team are over. And that's like a reassurance to the coach. Now the coach can be like, okay, let's bring you back in here and let's see how things go. And I think from what we've seen or heard and, watched in little video clips in training camp, that seems to be holding up so far. But I just don't understand how you can truly and honestly look at the 12 guys that are currently wide receivers on this team and tell me that Sanu can't be one of those, especially since he's really the only, other than Benjamin, but he's really the only vet on this team.
What's a vet? What's a vet? 3 years?
More than Richie James, and he's the next guy.
So you mean second contract guy?
Sure, vet guys. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, more than 3-4 years. Yes.
All right. I guess that's fair.
I mean, you can't consider Debo a vet. Yeah, he's been here 2 years, but he's not a vet. So the only guys with more than 3 years on this team right now are Benjamin in that position group are Kevin White, who's probably not going to make the team.
Jersey.
Unfortunately, we'd like to see that, but we haven't seen him out there. Sanu and
Jersey
and Benjamin. And I think out of those three guys, the chemistry between your 1 and 2 and Sanu seems to be really good. So why would you want to break? Those were the two guys who were very vocal about him being dismissed from the team last year, right? Or released from the team.
Yeah, but they explained that it wasn't about play; it was about the leadership and
right, which they still need.
Emmanuel Sanders effect type of thing,
right? And I think that's where Sanu comes in. So he'll be wide receiver 4 or 5, but bring that vet presence.
I am so against having a player on the roster to be a coach. I like it if they're going to contribute and they can learn from them. I just think that we're in trouble.
Would you like Richard Sherman being here?
No. What do you know? What do you know who you're talking to?
Last 2 years, that's all he's been is the vet presence to be a coach and mentor.
And I've always said it's cheaper to have him as a coach, and it doesn't count against the salary cap.
That's true.
Bring him onto the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, they're not ready to quit playing. So
I just think that with Sanu not being able to, even when his number was called last year, it was Craycraft time, not Sanu. That scares the sugar honey iced tea out of me.
The problem is, like we just said, he was working through something. Something was clearly.
That's true. That is okay.
I don't know if it was mentally or physically, but I can promise you this right now. If this was if they were going into a game this Sunday and they needed a wide receiver, Sanu's seen the field way before Craycraft. I'm just putting that out there.
Okay. All right. And now let's get to our second and last segment here. It's going to be deciphering the messages, takeaways from the pressers. We heard from Kyle Shanahan yesterday, so we're going to backtrack a little bit. I don't think we heard from Kyle today, did we? Oh, no, Kyle did speak today. And Kyle said one of the top things Kyle said was about the preseason game. Tony, Brian, we talked about this and we tried to figure out which one was going to be the dress rehearsal.
Right.
We thought it was going to be the second one.
I said 3. You said 2, or somebody said 2. But that was before I kind of, put it together that, we only have 3 games. So
right. He said it's still going to be the third game, like how it would be in a normal season. He even said, every year I always just try to fast forward and skip past the 4th preseason game as much as possible. So he was like, this is going to, it just makes it better. It'll still be the third game.
You know why? I found out why he's keeping it the 3rd preseason game.
Break it down.
Yeah, tell us.
Because there's an extra week.
Right. Where the fourth week would have been, there's just no game that week.
Correct. So they still have the 4 weeks in the preseason, but there's only 3 games. So at the end of that preseason game, whether it's a Saturday or a Friday night, I'm not too sure what it is, there's a full week, and then it's game week. So if God forbid, if someone tweaks something, there's a 2-week window to get them back. So that's why you might actually see him ramp up a little bit and maybe go 3 quarters instead of 2. But I didn't realize that there was that extra week. I thought it was
I didn't either.
Week 3 going straight in. So that's why I said 2.
There's something you just said about what Kyle had said that I didn't think of it until right as you said it, was that he kind of tries to fast forward past that week 4 game. But I mean, I, as a fan, and I think most of us just always assume that week 4 that's where you're going to go back and analyze to see who your bubble guys are going to be, right? Who you're going to cut and stuff like that. But it surprises me that a head coach would basically say, I'm trying to get past that game. I don't care. I mean, that seems like a huge point when you're talking about the depth of your team. You want to be able to get the best players that are remaining that are not your locks for the team. That's a good evaluation time. So it's strange that those words came out like that to me.
All right. I'm sorry. Can you tell me that last part again? I was talking to my wife. I'm sorry.
No, I just said it was kind of odd to me. And I don't know what's going on with your mic, but I'm hearing myself again.
Oh.
So I just said it was kind of odd to me that you had said that, or mentioned that Kyle had said that he would fast forward. He just wanted to fast forward through that week, when to me and everybody that I've ever talked to about the preseason, that 4th week game is all about analyzing your bubble guys, the depth of your roster, the back end depth. And I mean, as important as depth can be in the NFL, especially in this day where we're having all these issues and COVID and all kinds of stuff like that. It's just, I would think that would be important to want to analyze that game. And it seemed like he was kind of blowing it off. I just want to get to the season. I'm like, that's important stuff if you're talking about the depth and the people who are going to, potentially be your backups if somebody gets injured and whatnot. So
also kind of tells you that they don't rely on that last game to know their final 53-man roster. So that's very, very interesting. And that's why there were times where we saw guys, we were like, oh, he earned his spot. It's like, wait, what the heck are you doing cutting this guy? That explains some of those kind of reactions. You know what I'm saying? So
the decision had already been made.
Yeah. So that was one of the takeaways we got there. What did you guys hear anything else from pressers that you guys want to discuss? I don't have to feed it all to you guys. I don't know if there was something that you guys heard or saw that you want to break down.
I didn't get to listen to anything today. And
no, other than McDaniel's, his speech pattern was much better. You can tell he's getting a little bit more comfortable at the mic, standing there.
A lot better.
Right. And he even joked at the end about D'Amico having to follow him up, and that shit was funny.
Yes. That's exactly what I was going to say. The mic drop at the end.
Yep.
I feel bad for D'Amico having to follow that up. I was like, oh, okay, let's go. I was happy for him,
Right.
And
he still had that speech pattern that he has, but it wasn't anywhere near what we'd seen in the past as far as stuttering or pausing and things like that.
Yeah, Exactly. I was just gonna say he still has that quirkiness about him, but he found a way to get through it. He got through it, and he did okay, man. He did okay. I was like I said, I was proud of him. What is this? Nixon, is this video supposed to be played in the show? Have you guys seen it?
The video was the one you asked for if it could be put into a video.
Oh yes. Oh, hold on. Let me get
I think.
Okay. My bad. I didn't realize that we were just silent that whole time. All right, I got it. This is gonna be fun.
Here comes the pot stirrer.
Let me just. All right. So I want you guys to see this really quick. All right. This one is gonna be a different video, not that one. DJ Jones had a presser. But DJ Jones is one of my favorite people on the 49ers. I think he's got this cool ass, laid back demeanor. He's a family man. I don't know if he has kids, but I mean, like, he's a family oriented guy. You know what I mean? Talks about his pops like it's his best friend. Like, I love that about this dude. Yeah. I love that about this kid. He likes to laugh. He had his presser, some of the cool things. He said Arden Key, he said they have this defensive line group chat. And he says Arden Key is one of the biggest clowns out there. And I thought that was great. Like, I don't know why I get surprised when I hear that these guys talk outside of football. It's like we watch football, we watch after football, we watch before football, but it's all football related. And I'm like, oh shit, you guys know each other? Like, my brain is so stupid. It's like outside of football, these guys still talk. And so he's like, Arden Key is a big clown. He's someone that's fun, and he's a funny guy in the group chat. And I think that's pretty incredible. A guy that's new here,
right?
Just got in here, and he's got that kind of rapport with people. But I want you guys to watch this. It's a very, very short clip from DJ Jones' presser today, and just check out how he ends it. I laughed so hard, and it's probably not going to be funny to anybody else, but I'm okay with that. All right, so here we go.
When you're on the sideline, are your eyes glued to Trey Lance like ours are, or are you locked in on your...
I think everybody's is. I think everybody's eyes locked on him. He's special.
So Grant Cohn asked him, when you're on the sidelines, are your eyes locked on to Trey Lance like ours are? He said, I think everyone's are. I think everyone's is. He says, everyone's eyes are locked on him. But he pauses and goes, he's special.
That's a word we've been hearing a lot about, Trey.
But he said it so aggressively.
Right.
I'm gonna play it one more time. That aggressive ass, he's special. Man, that shit. Where'd he go?
Sorry, I didn't want to add him until I got the thumbs up.
Did he give us a thumbs up? I didn't add him. He must.
No, I was going to. There we go.
Thumbs up. Okay, here we go. All right, so watch this real quick. My man Breezy's in here. Done gigging out there, my man.
Oh yeah, man. I had to make this money, man. But it was a good night. It was ladies' night. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good night.
And you leaving? You leaving early?
Oh yeah, I got
ladies' night, and I'm feeling right. Did you sing that?
Trouble. Yeah, we absolutely do. Oh, what a night!
Yeah,
baby.
Hold up. The musicians are leaving ladies' night. Bro, see, this is why I could. Never mind.
They're trying to stay out of trouble, Mike. Come on.
I said never mind. All right,
yeah, see, Mike want to be starting something right now. Yo, get to the daggone presser.
Gotta be starting something. Got to be starting something.
Watch my man's face at the end of this. He's special.
He's special.
Mad aggressive. Just
when you're on the sideline, are your eyes glued to Trey Lance like ours are, or are you locked in on your...
I think everybody's is. I think everybody's eyes locked on him. He's special.
Special. Matter of fact.
That tickled my soul, bro. Like, I laughed so hard in the car watching that video. I loved it. DJ Jones, man, never changed, big dog. I love it. All right. So he says he's special. D'Amico Ryans tells you What's so special about him? Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, first thing jumps off the tape is the guy's ability to throw the ball. I mean, it's really awesome. He can hit every route. You know, he can throw the ball, put it where it needs to be, deep ball, quick game, wherever you want the ball, he can do it. So it's been fun to watch him work. You can see him progressively get better every day. So I'm excited for what he can do, and you can see why he's a top pick in the draft. Very great, talented guy.
All right. And then the last video clip I'm going to play from a presser concerning number 5 is going to be D'Amico Ryans explaining how it benefits his defense going against him in practice. Okay.
Is it fun? Hell yeah. They're getting a lot of good work, a lot of good looks, and he's stressing them out a lot. But it's he definitely causes off defenses a lot of problems. So it's definitely good thing to have him on our side.
Now, that sparked an immediate question in my head, and I realized that I haven't heard the answer to this anywhere all offseason. Does Trey Lance practice against the second defense only? I know that he doesn't go with the first offense based off of the offensive line. Is he exclusively practicing against the second defense?
He's practicing against the second defense. That's why when you see a lot of his like crazy deep throws, they're always on, different guys. They're not on the regulars. You know what I'm saying? Not on the regulars.
Yo, was that a big ass bug in your?
Yeah, you saw that joint, yo.
Yo, I see the bug. Everybody else act like they don't see them joints. I see the bugs, bro. I saw that tagging in the car with you.
Just trying to not point it out there, Mike. That's all.
Yeah, right.
He was right on the camera lens. I just saw his fingerprints.
Yeah, but part of me thinks so. Like I understand why that they're putting Trey in there, solely assimilating him or whatever. But that one of the biggest problems that we have had in the past is mobile quarterbacks. So why not put our mobile quarterback in there to stir up that defense, show them what they're more reps of what they're going to see. That totally makes sense. They should be doing that.
Absolutely. Tony, what are your thoughts? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say they should, but then you're at the expense of your star getting hurt running mobile quarterback plays. Like if he's not gonna be, if you're not looking at him for him to be the starter right now, like I agree with what you're saying, Brian, but it's like weird. Like I don't understand why he's not running with the ones. At least going against the right. Like he should be throwing against the ones, especially on defense. And It's just like I get it, but then I get why they're probably not doing it, which probably doesn't make any sense either. So it's a weird situation. All I know is Kyle is bullshitting us, and he need to stop and just go ahead and put the kid in and call it a day. Like that's what it is. Like,
he's pulling at your heartstrings all day, man.
Yo, like, he's playing with our emotions. And here's the thing: you know whose fault it is? It's Jimmy's fault. It's Jimmy's fault for the simple fact that he don't want to hurt Jimmy Garoppolo's feelings again. And I get it. That's a grown man, and he doesn't want to hurt that feelings. And my man Eric Crocker and those dudes, they said it a little bit earlier on their podcast. I think it was yesterday or something. And this is what I've been thinking the whole time. Like Shanahan, Kyle, they kind of did Jimmy dirty, right? And then they kind of finally made up, and now they don't want to do Jimmy dirty again. So they letting this guy go out there and do his thing. You know what I mean? They're giving him a chance. What?
Just got a quick question. When and how do they do him dirty?
They traded the first round pick and first round pick for quarterback. They drafted at number 3. That's all the way dirt. That's like saying, yo, I'm replacing you 2 weeks like very soon. Like you're gonna be replaced. Even the reporters asked Jimmy Garoppolo at the very first presser. They asked him something about, knowing that you're going to be replaced as the quarterback. Like, and then they kept it moving. I'm like, how do you say that to this guy? Like, he's the starting quarterback. So they did him dirty.
That's not dirty.
Okay.
Right. They're doing what's in the best interest of the team to make sure they have future success.
Right.
Jimmy's already proven that he can't stay healthy. As much as I like Jimmy as a winning quarterback on this team, even I have to go, Trey is the future of this team. So you know that Jimmy already understands that. But I mean, he said it straight up. Like, my job is to make sure that he can't take this job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and all we've heard about is praise. And then you get a lot of media out there going, oh, well, the praise is there so that we can get a better draft pick for Jimmy when we trade him. I'm like telling you right now, there's no market for Jimmy. After his last season, he doesn't have a market. So, I mean, you could get him like a 7th, maybe, but most teams would just, they're not for that. Not for his salary. There's no trade market for that. So if a team wants Jimmy, they're going to wait till the Niners release him if that happens.
You guys watch Olympic diving?
Not right now. I'm on a show.
I'm on a show too, but I just saw the illest dive. Oh my God. I don't know what the scores are going to be, but that was crazy. So what I was gonna ask was, Tony, based off of all the clips we heard about the guys, he's special, and then why he's special, and what the defense gains from playing against him and stuff like that. Anything that you want to say on the Trey Lance saga over here, the Trey's corner?
It's encouraging. It's positive.
Not the 2 words I thought you'd say.
That's what I'm saying.
No. He said he's not going to debate the quarterback position. He didn't say he wouldn't talk about either one.
You're saying it's encouraging and it's very positive.
I was just expecting him to lean forward and say, no comment.
No comment. Yeah, we knew that was coming. All right, so then here we go. When before the draft, the trusted voice of the 49ers, Matt Mayoko, was pounding the table for a quarterback at 3. And that quarterback's name was McCorkle Jones. He had unwavering faith that was the right guy to go after. He even went as far as to say why other guys should not be the choice at 3. When challenged about it on Twitter, he held his ground. You could almost hear what felt to me like a bias against some of these other prospects. Like, Matt Mayoko was just dead set against Trey Lance and Justin Fields. He wanted his guy, Mac Jones. He felt like it was going to be Mac Jones.
And to be clear, before you do that, just so we're clear for the people who haven't watched this entire offseason with us, Wayne Breezy is the only one who said Trey was the guy. We said the 3 of us said we'd be okay with Trey, but Wilson,
thought it was Fields.
Wilson or Fields should be the guy. I said Fields specifically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but Trey was like the backup thought process.
Right. Mine was, it had to be Fields or Lance. Like that. That's how I felt. But I was all in on Fields. I literally bet money on Fields being the pick. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So keep that all in mind here. And let's listen to what Mayoko had to say today on KMBR about our new quarterback.
This team in this league for a long, long time. Have you ever seen a rookie quarterback this special?
No, not even close. Not even close. No. And yes, I mean, I do want to pump the brakes and just, let's not get too carried away with it because they've only practiced in pads 2 days. But it's everything, he just has the right touch. He acts like a seasoned pro. He stands up there at the press conference and he answers your questions. And then you go back and look at what he said and you realize, wow, he didn't say anything, which is exactly what a quarterback should be, right? Look good, speak well, but really don't say a whole lot. The way he's been so deferential toward Jimmy Garoppolo, from what I understand, just all the work he's put in those 40 days, he left the facility. He came back a better football player. The 49ers, they said, hey, you're going to come back here and you're going to be watching film and you're going to be learning defenses and learning our offense and all that stuff. But on these 40 days away, let's work on some mechanical things. Here's some very specific mechanical things we want you to work on. And he did. and he came back. He's throwing the ball accurately. He's throwing the ball with pace when it needs to be drilled in there. He's throwing it with nice touch when it needs to be. Just the last 3 days, I think it's been, where he started running. Man, he just looks the
guys.
Oh, why'd you cut it off there?
I didn't cut off anything.
That was all the clip he had.
Yeah. But this is from the guy who did not want this guy. I can't say that enough.
Right. But I do have one problem with that initial statement, right? So media is media. Let me preface it with that. They all have an agenda, right?
My initial statement or something he said?
With Matt's initial statement.
Okay.
Or with what we saw in there. He said, to the first question, no, not even close, no, whatever.
He's never seen a rookie that special, yes.
So you're telling me that our new quarterback
on this team.
No, he didn't say on this team. He said
that was the question.
No.
Hold on. I'll play the beginning.
Is it fun?
Wrong one, my bad.
This team in this league for a long.
Oh wait, he said we've been covering this team in this league for a long time. That was how the question started. All right.
This team in this league for a long, long time. Have you ever seen a rookie quarterback this special?
I take that as a period, not like for the 49ers.
Oh, I took it as for the Niners because this is the only team that Mayoko.
Because I'm like, you're telling me that our new quarterback, who our genius coach deems is not worthy to be taking first-team reps, is better than Roethlisberger, better than Wilson, better than Prescott, better than Newton, better than Mayfield. Those are like the top 5 recent rookies that. Well, they're not even recent with Ben, but I'm just saying those are like the top 5. Those guys came in and basically started, right? Better than Mahomes, even though he sat out a year. It's like I have a hard time with that statement. Now, if he's talking about our team specifically, which wasn't the question that Greg Papa asked him, if he's talking about that, then I would be okay with what he said. But I have a hard to believe that Matt says that he is that good of a player, and our head coach says he's not ready to take first-team reps in the NFL.
So let's just stick with what you just said. Who's BSing who? Is Matt BSing or is Kyle BSing? I'm not going to respond to anything you say after that.
I couldn't tell you. I think there's no reason for Kyle. If Trey is ready to go in, they're not building a trade block for Jimmy. That's not going to happen in preseason for any team unless somebody just loses their entire quarterback room. And then they have to go find somebody to be competitive. Then you can maybe trade for – but I don't even know if the 49ers would trade him at this point. So I don't know.
I just want to know who's more likely to be being dishonest.
Kyle Shanahan, because he told us last year he was going to be lying. So, we know from the jump that he's a liar. he's going to do things that is going to get our emotions all bunched up, and then he's going to go against something. It's gonna happen. So I'm okay with that because I'm understanding and learning our coach and understanding who he is. He doesn't want to give everybody everything. You know what I'm saying? That's why he let him take a rep and do a running play out of that rep and just so that the team can just see a little something. Here's my issue though. When the players are saying, oh snap, Trey Greenlaw. Not just that, that was today. But then Greenlaw tweets or Instagrams, I've never seen a quarterback throw the.
He froze.
Damn it, Wayne.
Huh?
He got it. I want to know what Greenlaw said and you froze.
Yeah, it froze.
There you go.
Oh, you didn't see the tweet that Greenlaw put out when he said about Jimmy throwing the ball? Not Jimmy, about Trey Lance throwing the ball. These players are starting to Kyle Shanahan needs to stop and just only let him throw with the twos, but they even see it against the twos. But then when you got linebackers saying that oh my gosh, this is the best damn ball throwing I've ever seen. That's kind of hard, right? And so I think Kyle Shanahan is the one that's going to lie to us most. I don't think Matt Mayoko gets anything about lying to us. He wants to be right. It builds his validity. Coach Shanahan doesn't have to be right. You get what
Right,
I'm
he's
saying?
being the
Like,
chess player.
yeah, right. He can make deceitful moves and things like that. And so I think the issue and what's going on is, and it's just like a good problem. But you asked like about starting. I think Jimmy has to start because you're paying him $27 million. Now, can you go back and try to restructure a contract with him? Yes. But Jimmy doesn't have to take that contract, and Jimmy can ask to be cut. And then he's gone, and then we move on from Jimmy. But that's like, isn't that like bad juju? We don't want to go through that, right, as an organization, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Help me out. I'm going horse here.
Particularly, especially if he's going to be a player that we're looking at as if we're going to release Jimmy because of that situation. I mean, at least what we've heard so far is that Sutfeld and Rosen are so far behind that power curve between 1 and 2 that we wouldn't want them to be our backup quarterback. So, I mean, I liked your idea you said earlier in the offseason where you're like, if Jimmy gets beat out, let's renegotiate his contract, sign him up for a few more years, but as the backup player. Now, whether or not Jimmy does that, obviously, is completely up to him. But, the other option is we cut you and you go try to find a contract somewhere else. So it kind of, depends on what Jimmy wants to do.
That puts us in the situation, that predicament that you just said you didn't like.
Exactly. I don't want that situation.
It's interesting.
But what
I presented Tony with this situation earlier today. I want to get Tony's thoughts on this because I want to get his thoughts.
He's shaking. No comment.
No. Not on thinking about Jimmy versus Trey at all. Earlier today, we were talking about what will happen if Jimmy doesn't have anywhere to go. And I said, well, then we do a new contract. You said his agent, Don Yee, would be crazy if he did that. Explain your take on that, and then transition into what your thoughts on Mayoko's comments. Or the other way around, whichever way you want to go first.
The agent's job is to do what's best for his client. I honestly feel Don Yee will never take a renegotiated contract because obviously the Niners are asking him to take a pay cut. They sniffed around other players for the last 2 years at the position. Granted, they didn't pull triggers on him, but they were for obvious reasons. I feel if he was cut, he would get 3 offers as soon as he clears waivers for at least $10 million apiece. At least. I would even go to 15. He would get 3 offers immediately. The Colts would be 1, Denver would be 2, and Houston would be 3. Actually, you could even throw a 4th team in there. And I would even consider throwing in the Carolina Panthers because Sam Darnold is struggling bad down there.
So give me your teams again.
He said
Carolina, Texans, Denver, and the Colts.
Right. What about Washington?
Well, I mean, they're not in a position right now where clearly there's an issue. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater can't hit the side of a barn right now. He's throwing interceptions after interceptions after interceptions. Darnold's struggling in Carolina. Houston is a mess, but Nick Casero's there, who drafted him. So there's the tie there. So you just have to think of this. I think Don Yee would say cut him immediately. He will not.
That's his client, yeah.
Right.
He will not do that. That's number 1. Number 2, you asked me about, what was it? Mayoko?
Yeah, his
right.
comments, like Mayoko, it's not even a 360, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with saying I like this guy over this guy and then getting excited about the other guy. I've never heard Mayoko rave that way about somebody since Kaepernick first started.
I think Kyle's lying 100%. I think he's playing a game. He's done that numerous amounts of times with the 49ers since he's been here. And I just feel, and I think, Mike, you said it, he's kind of representation of the 49ers.
Yeah.
So you're not going to really – I don't think he would say something and just like, haha, let me just say this. No. But I do believe they totally kept him on the outs with the whole draft process. That's why he kept saying McCorkle, because he was saying, okay, this is the closest thing to
what we know,
what Kyle likes, and they totally veered off into a different direction.
But media in general did that. I mean, like all of sports media that covers football or the 49ers were all like, it's going to be McCorkle. Like everybody hands down, that's what it's going to be.
That just goes.
They didn't even pay attention at his pro day when they were like, that's like you could see in their eyes that was not the guy.
Right. That just goes to show you how Kyle plays games with people.
Well, I think it has to do with the hype of the media just trying to spin the stories they want to spin.
Sims got on it also, and that's Kyle's friend. And I think Kyle had him do that. I can't prove it. I think Kyle. I swear to God, I think Kyle had him do that.
Strong possibility, bro.
Right.
Like guys, we here, all of us here, know the power of podcasting. All of us know the power of podcasting. We say the wrong thing, and it'll take off.
Yeah.
Right? And whether they give us credit for it or not, then they'll take it to their platforms and so on. And then it's the wildfire and how it spreads, right? We know the power of podcasting. You can't convince me that this guy just flipped the switch and was like, oh, it's Mac Jones. Like, what? What? The most boring guy in the entire draft. Mr. Beer Belly himself. No personality. That's who Kyle Shanahan gave up all that to acquire.
Well, just real quick, I do think the media took something and ran with it, because the minute they announced that trade, where were they?
What do you mean, where were they? We were at 12.
No. Where was John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan?
On the plane to go to North Dakota.
No, they were standing at the pro day.
Oh, well, yeah.
So immediately when they announced that, the media said, oh, they're going up to get him because they're there right now.
Yeah.
Which clearly was not
okay. I do want to read this contribution, though, because it's been up for a while, and I know there's other comments and stuff that are down there. Sean, thanks for the contribution. He says, Mike, oh, okay, he's digging at me. Mike, I think Olympic underwater basket weaving is on next. Amazing. Anyways, do you guys think we can unload him, talking about Jimmy, to someone if we take 1/3 his salary? I appreciate your show, and you as well, peeps. What up, fam? Sean, man, it's really good to hear from you. Thanks for the contribution. And I'll have you know, anything underwater is scary, especially if you don't have oxygen or a snorkel, okay? So I would watch underwater basket weaving to see who comes out the best and how long they stay down there. Yes, I would watch that, okay?
It sounds like a Survivor event.
Yeah. right now, the relay is about to take place, the track and field relay, too, like the baton. Oh, this is going to be good. All right, so, guys, is that something that the Niners could do? We have not heard this option discussed before, and I think he's bringing up a really, really good point here. Why aren't we discussing this? Maybe we keep some of that salary to get rid of him. I've seen other teams do it before. Rarely, but I've seen teams do it. Come on, GM. Come on, Brian. You guys are the numbers guys, not me.
Could they do it? Yes. Will they do it? Probably not.
Well, 1/3 of his 24. Is that what it is? Is that 24? So it's only $8 million.
Plus the $2 million dead money.
Well, how does that work? Is it still considered dead money if we're paying 8?
Yeah, I mean, you still have. I mean, basically his walking cash. Like we're on the hook for his $2.8 million or whatever it is, regardless. So if you wanted to pay 1/3 of his contract leaving, like the dead money or not dead money, but the money he's owed for the next team if they took his contract, that if in paying some of that money, if we did 1/3, $8 million on top of the 2 we're already paying, I mean, all that does is potentially bolster the pick that the other team sends us.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is, how is it dead money if we're taking 8, they're taking 16, he's still getting 24? There should be no dead funds, right?
No, when you look at, I have to pull. I don't want to speak out of turn.
I'm not challenging you. I don't know.
No, if his contract so I'm just going to use round numbers because it's easier. So say his contract this year is $28 million. We're on the hook no matter what for 2.8, or we'll just call it 3 for round numbers purposes. We're on the hook for that no matter what. So if you're saying we're going to take a third of his whole contract, $28 million, then you can apply that number, right? So 9 1/3. And of that, we're already going to, regardless, we're going to be responsible for 2.8 of that. So we're only going to actually be coming out of pocket the extra 7 and change or whatever. And so therefore, the other team would still be on the hook for 24 minus 7. So what is that? 17. And I think if you're talking about trying to get a better pick in order to get Jimmy to go somewhere where the team that's a little bit cat strapped, you might have to go a little higher than that. So that's why I was thinking a third out of the money he's owed after the dead money, which would bring his contract down another $2.8 million on what the receiving team would be getting. But that, like I said, could bolster what the compensation they send us if that was the potential.
Okay. All right. I hear you. All right, guys. Any other thoughts?
Oops.
What I miss?
About if we could move Jimmy, but we pay for 1/3 of his salary. If like that's the hiccup with the next team, maybe we'll just eat that. We'll pay the 1/3 of the salary.
Yeah, I think that's the only way you'll be able to move him. Teams are going to want you to pick up something, but the good thing is, I think in that situation, can't you get something in return, like a draft pick, like a higher pick?
Right. That's what I was saying. Like if you're going to trade him and say the other team was like, we'll give you a 3, and you're like, okay, I'll pay a third of his salary. Maybe they give you a 2 instead.
2, yeah. I mean, Kyle's going to want a 1, but yeah, like
Sure,
that's
he's not going to get that.
Then he's not going to trade him. Like, you know, then they're not going to pay them. They're not going to pay. I'm just thinking about like, look, this is not about. I mean, let's keep it a buck. This is a competition. I don't know why Kyle's saying it's not a competition, because it's a competition. You drafted a quarterback, and it's a competition. It's going to be a competition. And even if you say as the head coach it's not a competition, you can't stop the media from turning it into a competition when they start to see things that we're not used to seeing. And then when the fans start seeing things, and see, this is where it's going to get tricky for Kyle. And go ahead, Brian.
No, I agree with what you're saying, with the exception of Kyle still holds the reins, because if he never puts him up against the one defense, it's not a competition.
I get what you're saying. I agree, it's not a competition also.
And so I get what you're saying, but it's still a competition.
Right.
Like,
I mean, he's going to flourish. If you took Jimmy out and put him against the 2 defense, maybe he doesn't throw any interceptions either. I don't know.
Oh, we got the chart to go over. We got the passing chart that David Lombardi did.
Oh yeah, Lombardi put it out.
We could break that down. But let me just say this real quick to Breezy's point. I'm inclined to say it's not a competition either. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Trey Lance is going to be the starting quarterback at some point.
Yes.
At some point. It's not a competition. This is Trey Lance's team.
But it's always a competition, Mike. You bring in other players to compete, bro. So it's a competition. You can say that it's not, but you bring in running backs to compete against other running backs. You bring in cornerbacks to compete against other cornerbacks. So at the end of the day, it's competitiveness.
I'm doing a major devil's advocate thing here.
Go ahead.
Devil's advocate thing here. I don't care if Trey Lance throws 40 interceptions every practice he goes out. He's going to be the starter eventually because we gave up too much. It's not a competition in that. That's why I'm saying.
Okay, I think I get what you're.
I'm absolutely right.
Being super negative. I'm being super negative.
You could say he's going to be a starter as soon as Jimmy gets hurt. You could say he's going to be a starter as soon as the trade deadline happens. You could say he's going to be a starter come August next season. You know, he is going to be the starter of this team. It's going to be his team. It's just a matter of when Kyle says so, and that's kind of like what I've been trying to get. I'm not for either one. I want success for this team. So whatever quarterback makes us the most successful, that's the team. That's the quarterback that I want.
Right, but that doesn't mean it's not competition. Like you gotta understand that there's competitive. Like Jimmy is competing to keep his starting job, and Trey Lance is competing to be the quarterback for the 49ers. Right, like that's competition. Like Trey Lance wouldn't study the playbook and do the stuff on the iPad like he's been doing if it wasn't him competing. Same thing with every other player, bro. Like that's all I'm saying. It's competition.
Sorry, I like Kyle's response to that. That's all.
Let me read.
Oh yeah, that junk was funny. he was really watching the movie. I got you.
Yeah, that was funny when he said that. I called him out.
49ers First Take says, NBN, thanks for being the OG of 49ers YouTubers and my influence for making my own channel. Congratulations and good luck to you. I do want to give credit where it's due, though. Nick can tell you as well as I can. When we started this, we weren't the first ones. There was this old, strong, muscly dude with a cat. He had been doing the show for a while. His name is Rombo. So Rombo was the OG on YouTube. Well, at least our OG. But if y'all want to call us your OGs, we appreciate it. Thank you and good luck. And then Sean has one more contribution here. He says, but we can get a better pick and have money for a free agent. For example, the Colts have a stacked team with no QB, might give a pick and take a 1 year. So he's talking about like
trading
the flexibility that eating some of that contract gives us in the long run.
Yeah, like will it happen? Probably not, but that's a possibility because there's gonna be teams that are going to be desperate, right? And there's gonna be teams that are gonna be desperate because they're gonna need a quarterback at some point. I think Kyle's in the driver's seat right now, and he's having his cake and he's eating it too. And then when the right situation approaches and a team is desperate, then Kyle can have the upper hand and say, look, you know what I'm saying? Because you're desperate, especially for a team that is trying to compete for a playoff spot. And don't forget that part. That's the most important part. So we talk about the Colts because the Colts are without their starting quarterback. They're sound like they're and starting guard, right? They're both out. And so maybe now they're just going to be like, bump it. We'll just see what happens and we'll just do what we can. Whereas they had Quentin Nelson, maybe they would be more enticed to try to get a guy to come in. And so we can start off hot, hopefully, and keep the reins going until our quarterback comes. But, you know, that's a whole different situation. I just think that as far as what's going on right now, not to I mean, you guys know I'm for Trey Lance, but I'm also pro Jimmy. Like I want whoever is going to be the guy, I just want you to come in here and do the damn thing. I just think that's what it is, you know. And so I wish Kyle would let Trey get some stuff for the ones. Then it's either going to do two things. It's going to shut people up and say, "Oh, Trey not ready," or it's going to make the situation a little bit more difficult. And so, but Kyle, you know, like you said, he's in the driver's seat. He does not have to do that. He already made it clear that Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback as of now. So don't forget to keep putting that as of now thing in there because he says that every single time. That's important. Yep. And so we're going to have to just wait and see what happens after the first preseason game. My issue is this. People are like downing Trey Lance, right? And then he goes in and throws these immaculate, amazing. I don't want to use the word immaculate because I got massacred on Twitter for using that word. He throws these amazing passes, right? Some are wobbly, some are look really good, and then it's like, oh, well, we got to see him in preseason. Then so when the preseason game comes and he does well, I don't want to hear people saying, oh, now we got to see him in the regular season. Like
the excuses aren't going to change in preseason. Tony and Brian were talking in our group chat today, and Tony made a really, really good point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He said, if he's going against our number 2 defense right now, and there's still excuses, when he gets in the preseason, it's still going to be against number 2
defense.
Right. So the excuses are still going to stand for everybody
right.
who is saying, well, because I was the guy, let me see it in pads. I'm standing firm. Now I'm more inclined to believe it because I said our number 2 defense is still an NFL defense.
Right. And I'll bolster what Tony said by saying that some of our number 2 defenses could be starters on other teams.
100%.
With the exception of our secondary, which is what I'm concerned about.
Don't talk about Dante Johnson like that.
Well, he's not playing right now.
Dante Johnson is hurt, dog. They didn't cut him. He might be the next person to get cut.
Don't do that.
Easy breezy.
I'm just saying. Like, and then call back. Like, you know how they do Dante.
Yeah, no. He's a yo-yo. It's crazy how they do my Jersey boys, man. Terra Dome says, what type of QB does our number 1 defense struggle with? Hint: Murray, Wilson, Josh Allen. Why wouldn't you think Trey 5 is going to flourish? Yeah, hi. Because he's special.
You got to look off to the side with a straight face.
I'm sorry,
man.
He's special.
Yeah, there you go.
Bro, that video, like, I'm sorry, man. I thought that. Nick, stop looking at yourself glitchy. It's fine. Leave it. It's on him. He does this shit every time.
And he look like Max Headroom right now.
Max Headroom, right on.
The audio comes through just fine. If you keep your hand like that, we would never know when you were talking. You know, we would hear you. You would be just fine. It'd be okay.
One thing real quick, because I don't know I know we're winding down, and I wanted to say something real quick, not 49ers related, but NBN related.
Oh, I got.
We're not doing a show on Sunday that I know of, or Saturday, whatever the 7th is. So thank you to all of the people out in the world that watch this, and to the 4 of you who allowed me to be here for the last year and put up with my bullshit and chat with you guys. I love you guys.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
for sure.
Great.
Your 1 year anniversary, huh?
Yeah, so the 7th will be 1 year since
Let's
I talked to Nick.
go, baby.
Not on the show, but started writing for NBN.
I like it. I like that you know that. I like that you know
I have
that.
no idea my anniversary date. I guess only anniversary date I know is my birthday, my son's birthday, the wife's birthday,
Those
and
are
our anniversary.
Yeah, Annie. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Those do count as anniversaries. Yeah. Oh, let me ask you all a question. What's more special to the people, the married guys, or even Nick? You can answer this. You were in a long-term relationship, right? You were married before.
He was married.
Right? Yeah. So you can answer this. What's more special, your wedding anniversary date, or the date that you guys started dating?
Well, for me, it's going to be the anniversry.
Oh, me too, Brian. I'm with you, dog.
We got married. That's the commitment date. Other than that, you can talk to
I
the
said
side.
yes, I do. I don't even remember the date we started even talking. I know what happened on the day. I don't remember the actual day, but I know what happened. That I remember.
And you'd have to remember, was it the date you started dating or the start you started doing something else?
Yeah, that's too much shit. Sorry, that's too much for me to be remembering.
Tony, Nick, what do you guys think?
I think the wedding.
Yeah.
You forget your wedding anniversary, your wife's going to hand you your butt.
It's funny.
You forget the date you guys started dating or whatever, you'll be fine, I think, for the most part. Except for maybe Mike, because Melissa apparently has got a different idea, maybe. Are you about to get slapped or something's coming flying across your street?
Hey, Mike, you remember the date y'all started talking?
I remember the date we became an official couple. Yeah. And
Okay.
You know why? I didn't trust her.
I remember the first day I met my wife, but not when we officially started dating.
I still don't even know the date, but I remember what happened. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yo, no, man. We were well, Nick. I want to get your answer. What's your answer? What do you think is more special? What holds more weight in the relationship?
I'm gonna go with the wedding anniversary.
All right, that's fine. All right, that's cool.
Mike's on an island all by himself out there.
I am. It's cool. It's cool because I like it. Like, all right, so when
You could look at it two ways. You could also look at it as the date that you started talking. You would have never got married if you didn't start talking. So that's probably really important in the relationship as well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go and forget a wedding anniversary and you say to your girlfriend or your then wife, well, it's okay that I forgot the wedding anniversary because I remember when we started dating. She's gonna probably smack the shit out of you.
That's not gonna work.
So,
I got you. You got to let me know when
there you go. But
You might as well just keep that thing beep, 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 beep,
smack
beep.
the living daylight out of you. If you say, well, I still remember when we started dating. So, I don't know.
Tony's watching tape. Don't worry about Tony.
Well, Tony's not here right now. Leave a message after the
Let's
beep.
read this comment. This is funny, yo.
I gotta get this comment off of here because
Leave a message after the beep. Push your button, man. There you
we
go.
all late. Damn. All right. LeBron James.
You messed it up last time too.
I did. I said the same thing too. I thought we had somebody in the chat called LeBuns. But anyway, it's this Abby, man. This Abby is trippy. It's like an acid trip, man. All right. Jimmy was seen working on his deep ball and running sprints after practice. Jimmy feels the heat that Trey is putting on. Oh, Jimmy feels the heat that Trey is putting on him. That locker room knows who the best QB is. Listen, I'm really, really inclined to agree with this kid because when the players start talking, that's why I wanted to know what Breezy was going to say about Greenlaw's post.
Oh, you didn't hear me say it?
Waking up. Like when the players start talking publicly about what's happening, when Grant asked my man, did you see it? Oh, my eyes are locked on him. Like, that's a problem. Those things don't go. And that's why they had George Kittle go to the podium today and kind of downplay Trey's play on the field. So, what are your guys' thoughts on that? What are your guys' thoughts on this?
All right. So you saw what Greenlaw said, right?
I did not. No,
okay.
sir.
He said this.
Oh, we're going. All right.
All I see is Breezy's light.
Can you focus?
You just can't read it, man.
All right, I'll read it. Best arm I've ever seen, hands down. Big Play Dre, verified. Big Play Dre 1, verified. Best arm I've seen, hands down. Maybe he was talking about Jimmy, but I'm just saying the players are talking, like they're seeing it. Like that's the scary part. And so it's just like.
So here's a question for you to go on top of that, I guess.
Okay.
At what point, or does it happen? Does Kyle lose the locker room? If players are seeing Trey that way, at what point does Kyle start to lose the locker room if he doesn't move his ego past Jimmy?
That's
wait, Breezy. Let freaking Frack answer, because they're just looking at us. Come on, guys.
Well, I keep trying to jump in, but everybody keeps talking, so I'm not saying anything. The when you lose the locker room is if the team is losing and they don't make the switch. That's literally it. This team, look, I don't know how much we got to say this. I can understand that everybody loves Trey and everybody's excited for Trey. It's the new toy in town, right? And that's us as fans are all excited. We see these clips of him throwing the football. We hear players talking about it. We can sit here and say Kyle Shanahan's downplaying it, which he should be because he's the head coach. He doesn't want to give away his cards. It's like playing poker. Breezy, you were talking about competition earlier. Every person that comes in here is in a competition, right? We always hear the coaches say we're always trying to get better. Always, right? But in a sense also, Kyle also did say he would be surprised if Trey Lance beats out Jimmy Garoppolo. He would be surprised. He didn't say that it can't happen. He didn't say that it will happen. He did say that he would be surprised. What, Mike?
I just want to say one quick thing. I just want to say that this is the only position on the entire team where you're competing with one person.
Right.
Every other position, there's multiple linemen, secondary guys. They didn't even bring in specialists to compete with the specialists. This is the only position where he's only competing with one person. And I think that's why Kyle's so firm on it's not a competition. Now I'm going to shut up. You can finish your thoughts. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, so then Jimmy goes back, or Kyle goes back and says, he'd be surprised. And then you hear other people and other coaches talk about Trey Lance, and you hear Mike McDaniel, and he says, well, yeah, he's slinging the football around, but he's got a lot of work to do. We don't know what is going on behind scenes. The kid, there's no denying the kid has an arm. There's no denying that he's an athlete. But how much of the other stuff is he really picking up? Because he has to pick up every single little thing to be named the starter. If he doesn't have 10 out of 10, he probably won't be the name of the starter because Jimmy Garoppolo's there.
See, I disagree with that because Jimmy's not even 10 out of 10. He just has to be better than Jimmy. You get what I'm saying? Like Jimmy ain't a 10 out of 10. He's
right, but you also have to look at Jimmy Garoppolo when he's healthy and look at his record. He's a winning quarterback.
But he's still not a 10 out of 10. He still throws, he misses as a winning quarterback.
No. I'm not saying, wait, I think you got me wrong here. I'm saying 10 out of 10 is in knowing the system. So knowing everything that Kyle needs him to know.
So
he needs to know
everything? That's what you're saying?
Jimmy knows this offense.
Okay.
I would think that Jimmy knows everything about this offense. The only problem that Jimmy has is, one, he's probably being held back because of a deep ball. We know that Kyle doesn't call that very often, whatever the reasons that may be. But we also know that when he's healthy, this team wins football games. So if Jimmy was not injured the way that he's been injured in his tenure as a 49er, we wouldn't even be having a talk about a new quarterback in town. Because that's the main reason that Kyle wants him going. I
don't know.
We also got to remember Jimmy had a lot of time to study in all those injury seasons, man. So he should know everything about this system.
Yeah, it's weird though. So you guys, I would say you're right. Right, more time in the system, you should know it. But knowing it and executing it is two different things. You know what I'm saying? And so Like, okay, so we watched Jimmy come in and start, and he didn't know the system when he came in and started the last few games of the year. He didn't know the system the following year when he came in and started that season off against, and when he got hurt against the Kansas City. He didn't know the whole system, but he was deemed the starter because he was the best quarterback in the building, right? And so we're trying to figure out. Kyle's gonna hopefully unleash. The starter is going to be the best quarterback in the building. And right now, the best quarterback in the building is Jimmy Garoppolo. That's what he says. That's what we're gonna have to agree with. But my thing is, Nick, if Trey Lance becomes the better quarterback and still doesn't know the whole system, but he's the best quarterback in the building, don't you move him to the starter? Or no? Are you going with the guy with the experience? That's I guess that's what I'm asking.
I think for the future of Trey Lance's career, I'm going to still stick with what I've been saying, that his best bet is to sit a season and learn the system to where he doesn't fluke. That's the best case scenario. Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes type thing. You learn the system and then you take over.
But
you already know Jed York already has came out and said, we're paying Jimmy Garoppolo his money no matter what. He's fine with that. That's what he said to John Lynch.
He said he's fine with paying it. Yes, he didn't say we're paying it no matter what.
But he did say he said for the next 2 years also in that statement, which I hope
he said he's fine with paying the remainder of his contract in full. That's exactly what he said.
I think that's if Jimmy continues to progress and do the things he's supposed to do for the team. But
but that's why I'm saying if Jimmy stays healthy and they're paying him that money, why are you going to start Trey Lance if Jimmy's winning football games? So this is where we talked about this in the offseason, right? We talked about when we went over the schedule release. Some of us had the team going 4-0, 5-0, and people had Trey Lance taking over in week after the bye. When the team is 4-0, why? Why? We're all talking about throwing off locker room. If Jimmy Garoppolo is winning football games, do you think that team?
Nick, stop. Bro, we won the game against the Vikings in the playoffs. We didn't need Jimmy for that. I don't believe that you believe the only reason we drafted another quarterback is because of injury and availability. We drafted another quarterback to overcome limitations.
We drafted another quarterback at number 3 and did everything we did because of an injured quarterback.
No. And
we would have stayed put where we were at and took somebody else and wouldn't have gave up so much capital if it wasn't so important because of a healthy quarterback.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think it was only health. I think it was limitations that Kyle and the players were tired of, and they wanted more from that position.
I have to agree with Mike because at the end of the day, I don't think that Jimmy is the quarterback that Kyle wants. I think Kyle made it clear what type of a quarterback he was looking for. He said it. He said it in pressers. He's made it clear.
But he's also said that he did want Jimmy. That Jimmy was his guy. He also said that.
But then he said the type of quarterback that he said we can get a quarterback that can do A, B, C, and D. Blah, blah. So all I'm saying is Jimmy might have been the guy for the time being, and he's probably still the guy now, but he got his guy. Trey Lance is a hand-picked guy that Kyle Shanahan has been coveting. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he's moldable, he's big, his body, he can do certain things that other quarterbacks can't do. And then you put that system in him, like you said. If he sits a year, he sits a year. I just feel like Trey Lance can probably come in and just do things that we've never seen a rookie quarterback do. And so, does he have to sit a year? No, not to win games in the NFL. He doesn't have to. Jimmy Garoppolo came into the system half of a season, and then when Kyle felt he was ready, we need to go 5-0 with the small little bit of installment he learned. Rollouts. That's all we were seeing was rollouts. Now Jimmy can't roll out, and so I'm just saying maybe Kyle goes to his strengths until the defense has figured it out, and then adds more. I don't know. It's just
that's where I'm saying we're all speculating, right?
Of course, that's what we do.
One person, Kyle Shanahan has said that Jimmy Garoppolo was his guy. Now we're saying no, Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't Kyle's guy. Trey Lance is Jimmy's guy. We don't know.
You mean Trey Lance is Kyle's guy?
At the moment when Garoppolo was available to come here,
he was the best. Jimmy Garoppolo's guy.
Right. It wasn't necessarily Kyle's guy, but he was the best option at the time.
No, bullshit.
What was available
bullshit.
That they could go
Bullshit.
Okay.
Because if Kyle wanted somebody else, he would have went to somebody who knows his system and went to him instead of going after a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo. We can't sit here and say that he wouldn't. The guy brings everybody.
Wait. What are you saying?
I said he was the best player available that he could utilize in this system.
Time out. What are y'all debating right now?
Stop watching the Olympics.
Did I miss? What are y'all saying? Kyle, what?
They're saying that Kyle is saying that Jimmy was his guy. Jimmy is his guy. And then I'm saying that Kyle drafted a quarterback. He drafted his guy. Kyle never drafted Jimmy.
No. I didn't say that Jimmy is his guy. I said Jimmy was his guy. At the time, Jimmy was his guy.
Well, that's what we were saying. That's what we said. We said that. And then I said later on, he went and talked about the type of quarterback that he wanted. Like he would, like, if you can get a quarterback that's like Lamar Jackson, that's got this person, this
Brees' arm and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, like he said that too.
Right, Jimmy but he also said that as in a phrases and saying if you can get a guy that's like this, who wouldn't want them? Meaning these are the attributes that he would, if you could build a guy that he wants, build
That's
him.
Nick, those guys exist in the NFL today.
We drafted him, Nick.
Those guys exist in the NFL today. They're here. Josh Allen is a thing. He is real.
And how long did it take Josh Allen to be Josh Allen?
1 year.
1 season.
But he started from day one.
Yes, sir.
And he wasn't even that bad.
And he struggled.
He didn't struggle that much.
You make an investment in a quarterback, that's what you do.
Exactly.
That's
same competition, everything.
Why do you say that though? I don't.
You make an investment in a quarterback, and that's your guy. You roll with him.
And I totally agree with what you're saying, Tony, as far as that's your guy. And that is Kyle's guy. He went out and drafted the player that he wanted. He and John said, this is what, or he said, this is what I want. John said, okay, this is a plan. Let's put this together. They both agreed without having talked to each other first. They had, at least that's what they said to the media. Each of them selected Trey Lance on their own and then discussed it with each other and found out they both liked Trey Lance, right? And then they went to Jed and said, we want to get this guy, but we also want to be able to keep Jimmy as security in case, or vice versa, whatever. We're going to go get this. But I just don't see, I understand that a lot of people want Trey to start now. I think Kyle, this is my perspective. I just think that Kyle is not going to start Trey because Kyle's career is now tied to Trey. If for some reason, for any reason, he does not feel that Trey is ready to take over Jimmy's role and win this for this team, he's not going to put him in there. Because if he does and he fails or he wasn't ready, then Kyle's career is, you guys messed it all up.
And that's what happens when we do these shows and panels and all these different shows. And everyone wants to be the right person. He's going to come in this week. He's going to come in that week. He's going to come in next season, right?
He'll come in when Kyle says he's ready to come in.
That's why my answer has always been the moment Trey is ready, Trey will start. I don't care what Jimmy's record is. I don't care what the team's record is. The moment that they know that this kid is ready, he's going to be the starter. Jimmy was never Kyle's guy. He was a guy.
Jimmy was dropped in their laps.
Yeah, he was basically a gift from the Patriots.
He was the best person available that could do what Kyle needed to have done in his system.
He's a free agent after this. Good luck. Hey, they took him. They gave him that contract, and the rest is history, right? But that doesn't mean that he was my guy. He was a guy, and there's nothing wrong.
So you just pay a guy $137.5 million.
Yes, because
that's pay a guy $137.5 million.
Yes, because that's what the market was at the time.
Okay,
for a starting quarterback.
But you didn't have to pay him. He was a free agent. You had a draft. You could have drafted a quarterback.
That's why you had to pay him, because you didn't like Brian Hoyer. You didn't like C.J. Beathard. You got to keep the one guy in here that you like, and that guy is undefeated as a starter, 7-0. and he took your team against a top 10 playoff bound team in the Jaguars and smoked them. You got to pay that guy. Unfortunately, Jimmy was so good without knowing the playbook, they had to pay him. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo fleeced the 49ers. Him and Don Yee pulled the wool over their eyes, bro. Yes, absolutely. That's how it works. I'm playing well. You got to pay me. Doesn't matter the sample size. My contract is up. What you want to do?
Right. And we have no idea, and we can only speculate. We have zero idea. There's no way to prove it or disprove it. What 18 would have been like if he didn't get hurt. It could have been 19 a year earlier. We don't know. So, I mean, yes, they had to pay him because they didn't have any options out there that were better at that moment than paying Jimmy that money. And that was the going rate for the new starting quarterback salary range. I mean, that's just unfortunately where we were at.
Yeah, I agree. But listen, man. Listen. This is all fun. But a lot of what we're talking about is old. Jimmy's here. Jimmy is the starter. Today is August 4th. Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter of the San Francisco 49ers. But Trey Lance is on his ass. And we got to discuss the chart, guys. We have to discuss the chart. And I know it's only second team stuff and all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow this thing up. And if you're out there watching, I'm going to suggest that you make this full screen so you can see it because this is a tiny ass little chart. So I'm going to make it full screen here. And hopefully yes. Oh, man, so much better when you make it full screen. All right, so here we go. So we already did day 1, day 2, and I believe we did day 3, right, guys?
Yeah.
On the last chart had day 3. So here we are with day 4 and day 5.
Hey, Mike, by any chance, do you have that chart?
The old one? Yes, I do. Here.
When we're done going over this, I want you to pull it up and look at the percentages again.
Well, let me pull it up again. Let's start with the old chart. That's a good point. I do have that in here still. So the old chart, boom, is right here. Let's make it big again. All right, and all the way at the very bottom of the screen is where you're going to see the numbers for the percentages. You have Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm going to get a pen and paper because I'm not going to write this down here. Jimmy Garoppolo is at 60.5%. Trey Lance is at 56.1%. Nate Sudfeld is 83.8%. And Josh Rosen is 46.2%. The only person that had thrown an interception was Jimmy Garoppolo, and he had 2 on the record. That was through 4 days of camp. All right.
I wrote it down.
You got it already? We good?
I got it. I got those percentages, yes.
So now we're going to go to the new chart. We're going to have some fun with this. All right. I'm going to load it back up. Do you want me to just go back to the percentages again?
Whatever you want.
All right. Well, let's just write down the percentages. Brian, you ready?
Yep. 62,
Garoppolo
68, 76.2, and 39.1. Okay.
Now wait. I want you to chart the interceptions also.
Oh.
Jimmy has not thrown any more interceptions since then. He's still at 2. Lance
what was
is at
it?
1.
Right.
Is at 1. And Rosen is at 0 still.
So do you just want me to put down the total that they've had, or do we want to because we have 2 different percentages from days to days. So do you want Jimmy's 2 from the first one you gave me from the first 4 days?
No. These interceptions are a running total. So Jimmy hasn't thrown any more picks since the first 4 days.
Right. 1, 1, and 0.
Right. So we're good to go. All right. So we had 4 days. So if we start at day 5, including red zone, so this is overall. Jimmy Garoppolo was 11 of 15 with no interceptions. Trey Lance was 8 of 12 with 1 interception. Nate Sudfeld was 1 of 2. And Josh Rosen was 1 of 4. Are y'all sure Josh Rosen is better than Sudfeld? Listen.
I never said that.
Breezy. I never said that shit either, bro.
Word.
I never said it either. And I saw
Josh Rosen was going to get cut.
I saw this video of Sudfeld throwing a pass in practice. The pass was pretty. His leg work, his arm, his release was pretty. I think Sudfeld really might beat out Josh Rosen.
Sudfeld will be the backup quarterback for the 49ers next year.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so that's overall for the day. Do we want to break down the rest of day 5? Do we want to do the red zone splits? Tony, what is there anything on here you want to discuss in particular?
No, I'm listening to you. That's all.
All right. So it says here on the side notes for that day that Lance also scored 2 red zone rushing touchdowns. Those notes on the side are very, very important. If you guys don't follow David Lombardi on Twitter, I really, really suggest you do. He updates this list after every practice. You guys should really, really follow this. The link is posted in the tweets, and it's a live, living thing that everyone can view. This is a really, really good chart. It's just fun. I'm not going to say it means anything. I'm not going to say that it's going to dictate the future of any player on this roster or their status. But what I will say is that it's very fun to see what we can't see. They're charting what we want to know, and then he's telling us what it is. On day 6 here, this is interesting here. Day 6 is really interesting, okay? Jimmy was 11 of 18, while Trey Lance was 13 of 14. Nate Sudfeld
11 of 13. Oh.
Huh?
11 of 18.
Oh, my bad.
11 of 18.
11 of 18, yeah.
Nate Sudfeld was 4 of 6 with a pick, and Josh Rosen was 1 of 3. Day 7, Jimmy was 6 of 11. Trey Lance was 7 of 8. Sudfeld was 1 of 1, and Josh Rosen was 1 of 3. I'm not going to go into the red zone parts of it there. Now, here on the side, Lance on first team offensive line rep for a run installation. So they discussed that already. That was what made headlines all over Twitter. Trey Lance got his first rep with the ones, and it was a run play, and then that was it. Lance, perfect off-schedule deep throw to Fairfield, first padded practice. Now, have we discussed that on the show? The 50-yard play and everything, have we discussed that on here?
No.
All right. This is a very, very important note. The next one on the side in the yellow. Garoppolo, 2 possible sacks. First on McGlinchey, Lance, Kittle, Ayuk overwhelmed second-team defense.
See, I think that's important because it talks to the caliber of the defense that Lance is facing versus what Jimmy's facing.
Yeah, but look at the weapons that Lance is getting with the second-team defense. With Kittle and Ayuk, he better be overwhelming those guys. Right?
I'm just,
all right, let me
the defensive line that Jimmy's having to face in camp is different than the defensive line that Trey is facing. So you can say he had 3 possible sacks, but if you're playing
there's a lot of context there.
a lesser caliber, if you will, or whatever, the second team, then those guys are not your starters. I mean, until to me, all this, I get it. It shows a beautiful numbers. It shows a beautiful picture of how Trey is trending. But until I can see Garoppolo and Trey against the same defenses and see those numbers, then I'm still going to say Jimmy's probably going to be the starter. It does to me. All that shows me is that Trey is the king of training camp.
King of training camp.
Oh, God.
Wait, where did Brian go? He's got my numbers I was about to ask for. The percentages. I wanted to talk about how Trey Lance leapfrogged Jimmy and the completion percentages. Is this a big deal or not, guys? Do y'all care?
Twos, Mike. Don't worry about it. It's first the twos.
No. But the passes have to be catchable. He's throwing the number 1 targets, right? Players going to get injured on the opposing teams. We're going to go up against some of the twos, right? So this stuff has to happen. Do you guys care? Let's go around the table. Let's do Tony, Breezy, Nick. Do you guys care about this chart?
I do, because it's legit. It's throws being made. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. You got guys on twos that he's facing that are fighting their asses off to make this team. Where the ones know they made the team, they might not be going all out. That's that. I mean, that's plain and simple. And I just think they say, Jimmy has not Jimmy. Trey had never got rep. I don't even know why I'm talking. But Trey never got reps with the ones. You just said it, that he's with Ayuk, Samuel, and Kittle. That's ones. That's the starting offense.
So I figured out how they determine the one, and it's the offensive line. It's not the weapons. And so he's never played behind the starting offensive line, except for that run play, from my understanding.
Yeah, but if he's playing behind the second offensive line and he's doing this, that should be good, right?
Talk your shit. Wait, let's go. You just asking questions. You ain't even trying to talk. You ain't even trying to talk.
No, but that's what I like. I get that there's context with all this stuff, right? Jimmy, first offensive line. He's probably playing against a first team defense too, whereas Trey Lance is probably playing. And so what's the name spoke about this? Mike. He spoke about this today, and I think D'Amico too. They spoke about how players are rotating to get more reps, and so that's why you see them in there with Mike McDaniel. Like you see them in there with Trey Lance, and then you see them in, like because they're trying to get their reps as well, and so it's on a rotational thing. Whereas the offensive line obviously isn't because blah 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 blah. But
Mike McDaniel's, what he said was that sometimes you'll see Kittle in with the third team because he needs looks against a certain type of coverage. And instead of changing the entire defense for what Kittle needs, they'll put him in when the offense is going up against that type of look, regardless of if it's first team, second team, or third team. So go ahead, Breezy. Back to you. I just want to.
Yeah, I just feel like to go along with Tony says, like they should matter. I mean, he's making the right throws. He's making the right reads. What are we talking about? Like I was listening to the podcast, Eric and his dude earlier, and I'm like, I don't give a if it was a linebacker that blew the coverage. He still threw it to the right guy. We see quarterbacks throw it to the wrong guy all the time, and then our rookie is throwing it to the right guy. He noticed that Sherfield was down the field, right and over for him to catch the ball. It's like almost like a perfect pass. It's just the right guy. He saw the bad coverage and said, "Hey, my guy's getting covered by a linebacker. Oh, that's where I'm throwing it every single time." Why don't he get credit for that opposed to, he's throwing against the twos, the threes? It doesn't matter. He's making the right reads, guys. And so that's what we really need to be measuring. Is he making the right reads? Is he throwing the ball like to not get his receivers hurt? Like, is he underthrowing the ball? Like, that's the stuff to me that should be measurable, whether it's with the ones against whether it's against the number one defense of the 49ers or the number two defense against the 49ers. But again, I will say you got people on the number one defense saying stuff about him.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think that Trey's going to be great. The level of competition is still not the same. Like I can't make a comparison between two people that are playing two different, like you don't have a control. I mean, there's no control to the equation. I mean, when you look at the experiment, right? Jimmy's playing against different guys than Trey is. Great. Trey's passing it to the right guys, but he's also playing at, passing it to receivers who are dealing or tight ends or whomever to weapons that are out there playing against second string secondary versus your first string. He's not trying to, make a pass to somebody who's being guarded by Verrett. He's not playing or whomever they have on the other side. He's not playing against Fred Warner. He doesn't have to. So the fact that people are jumping. And that's why I think we need to pump the brakes just a little bit, just because I think that him playing against or finishing like 22 out of 24 completions is kind of skewed based on who the competition those receivers are going against. Great. He's throwing it to Kittle on target. Great. That's what we want to see. But he's also doesn't have to account for necessarily the same caliber of athletes that Jimmy is currently facing. I'm just saying when you take the two, when you look at them, you have no control within this experiment.
I got a question. When Jimmy Garoppolo threw 5 interceptions in camp, how many people said, "Oh, that's horrible. That's this, that's that"? It was
the whole world blew up. Yep.
It's camp. That's where mistakes are supposed to be made. So why are we praising all the good when we don't get up against all the bad that happens? That's just a question. I'm not saying that we're wrong by doing that. I'm not saying that we're right by doing that. But it's something that we need to step back and look at. I can probably honestly say that I've heard every single one of you guys say in here one time or another, it's camp. It's camp. And now, because we have the new toy, we're praising that new toy because it doesn't matter what he's going up against. It's because we're so excited. Personally, this is how I feel. People are so excited to get something new in the building and see the ability that he has and what he can do for this football team while also undermining what Jimmy Garoppolo has done for this team. And that's one thing that gets me is every single person here as a 49er fan base, not just on our show, was so excited about Jimmy Garoppolo until he started getting injured. Everything was about Jimmy Garoppolo. The excitement, the contract, the winning percentages, the passes that he was throwing. He goes out with an ACL in 18, week 3, when he was driving to come back and win that game and took an injury. Came back again, got injured again. And then it's all of a sudden it's Jimmy can't do this. Jimmy can't do that. Jimmy can't. We need somebody new. Jimmy's record overall, and then it's all, well, Jimmy didn't win that football game. The running backs did. Well, guess what? That whole team's going up against the same team. If you don't need a quarterback to win the game, we talked about this, Wayne, at the NFC Championship game. Who cares if Jimmy had to throw the ball 3 times? We just destroyed a team on the ground because that's what was working. So I feel like Jimmy gets a lot of bad from fans in general. And look, I'm excited about Trey Lance. Don't think that I'm not. I'm super excited about Trey Lance. And I think that he's going to do great things in this league. And I'm still sticking with my thought process on let the kid learn. Don't throw him out there for failure. Because right now, whether we like it or not, until Kyle Shanahan says Trey Lance is the starting quarterback, Jimmy gives his team the best chance to win by knowing this offense and us being in position where we're at right now with this team built to win. Right now. Next year, we don't know what's going to happen. We have a lot of guys on 1-year contracts. We have, right now is the time to win. Do we take that chance on that winning window with a rookie quarterback where we're just going to throw him out there and say, let's see how he does? I think he's ready, but let's see how he does. And Tony, you went back and said, you invest so much, you start that guy. But you also have to think about these teams invest stuff on those starters that we're talking about that play are usually on shit teams. And that's why they're starting. It's not just because they're in perfect position and perfect situation like the 49ers are right now to where they just take it and can just throw him in there. They have a chance to let him learn and be better than what he can be starting week 1, whereas he's the future of this team. He already knows that. Jimmy Garoppolo already knows that. So why rush this kid along? And who knows what it does? If he goes out there and has bad games, it could fuck his mental up completely. We don't know. I don't think that would happen to him because I don't think he's that type of person, but it could. And I just don't see, unless Kyle Shanahan truly believes that he is the best quarterback with every single step of everything he needs to know in the NFL, game speed, the ability to throw, the ability to run, know the offense in and out, know the playbook, know exactly how to read defenses, don't get stall or stutter on certain types of coverages, know everything that you think this kid is completely 100% ready. Why? You're already paying a guy $23.5 million who you can win with. Jimmy makes stupid mistakes, just like every other quarterback in this league does. No quarterback in this league is perfect. Russell Wilson makes mistakes. Drew Brees makes mistakes. Aaron Rodgers. Nobody talked about how shitty Aaron Rodgers played against us in the NFC Championship game. He did not deserve to win that game. He played shitty as hell, right? So that's where, look, I'm like I said, going back to it, I'm excited as shit for Trey Lance. Crazy excited for Trey Lance and what he's going to bring to the San Francisco 49ers. But if you don't have to rush something, why do it? Like, let the kid flourish and learn even more so that when it is his time to take over, it's not because of injury or it's not because of something else and he's not ready. So let's do this. The Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith thing is a perfect example. Patrick Mahomes said himself he was not ready compared to what he did in college to come into the NFL and start from day one. He admired that they let him learn the system and learn to be what he is right now. And that's the only thing I can see. Don't pull away from Trey Lance. Don't throw him into the fire, whether you believe in him or not. He's going to have hiccups. He's a rookie. Everybody, pros, NFL veterans have hiccups. So I'm just saying, like, I know we're all excited. It's that new Christmas toy that you're ready to open and you can't wait to play with. And sometimes you just have to sit back and say, is this really?
That's a horrible analogy. If you get me something for Christmas, I'm opening the shit. That's a horrible analogy.
Okay. You're right. But I'm saying that's why we're so excited.
Yeah,
that's
I get
why
it.
we're so excited.
Don't say that.
It's a new Christmas toy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a new Christmas toy that can do things that the old Christmas toy cannot do. So it is super exciting to see Trey Lance. But I'm kind of with you where, learning for a year or whatever it is that Kyle thinks is necessary for him to become the starter. I mean, how can that not be beneficial? I mean, I don't get how people are like, he needs to start right now. I'm like, but it could be beneficial. I mean, great. He might be the first rookie quarterback to ever start and win a Super Bowl. That could happen because it's never going to happen until it does. And maybe Trey is that guy. But I just think transitioning, like you were saying, like Mahomes said, from a smaller school like Texas Tech, even their program is higher than, in a division wise, as far as, college football setup versus North Dakota. So why not give him that time? And if Kyle thinks that he needs it, then we should be behind Jimmy and supporting that 100%. When Kyle's ready to tie his name to Trey as the future of this team, then obviously everybody will get behind Trey. But I'm kind of with you where I think that it can't hurt him to wait. I just don't see it as a bad thing.
Yeah. Tony, you got any other thoughts, bud?
No, I'm good.
He said no comment.
I'm good. Believe me, because I can roll right now. I'm good. I'm good.
You got the sniffles over there, dude. You all right?
Yeah, I got a little cold. I'm good though. I don't know if it's cold or allergies. I have bad allergies today, so it might be that.
You guys still have lots of smoke out there?
No.
Nah. It's gone now. The red sun's gone and everything.
Yeah, we got it all again because we got another fire. So,
I know you guys are excited, man, and I am too. And the minute that Kyle Shanahan says Trey Lance is the guy, I'm gonna ride with it 100%.
That's cool, but I don't need him to tell me that. I know what I see. You get what I'm saying? So
right, but that's what I'm saying, dude.
He's the head coach, so we gotta wait. But I still know that Trey's the guy. So no matter what y'all say, Trey the guy. I don't care what you say.
Well, yeah, Trey is the guy. It's just a matter of when.
So at the end of the day, it's like we just gotta wait on Kyle. That's what we're doing. It's not even when Trey is ready. It's when Kyle says he's ready. You feel me? Like, so all I'm saying is, like, I'm just at this point where, like, I'm like overly tired talking about this junk because we're not going to see Trey as the starter until we see him as the starter. But we still can feel that Trey is the better quarterback. Trey is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's more talented. He's got way more skills. And I'm just going to go off of what you said. Maybe he just don't know the playbook. But I guarantee you he can come in here and out athletic everybody on that offense, especially Jimmy Garoppolo, and win you games. He can win you games against number one defenses in the NFL because he just has that innate nature to play football. He has that ability. Like, it's in him. It's in his blood. Does he know Kyle Shanahan's playbook 100%? Nope. And neither does Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going to tell you that right now. But at this point, as of right now, Jimmy gives us the best chance of winning. So we rock with it. Plus, you're paying him $23.5 million this year. So you got to go with that. But if you're going to go off of talent, I think Trey has more talent. I think Trey's the better guy. And this is why you traded up to draft. You traded up to draft a guy that you felt was going to be your guy for some years to come, for your tenure. And Jimmy is no longer that guy. And so right now we got Jimmy on the team, guys. We rock with him until he's not there anymore. I think that's how we go with it. Yes, we're excited to see what Jimmy can do. Yes, we're excited. I mean, I'm not going to front. I want to see if Jimmy get better. I'm still pissed that Jimmy let me down 2 years ago. Like, when he didn't come in being able to read a defense. That hurt my feelings. I thought he would at least up that. Well, it looks like Trey could read a defense. We just don't know if he could read a number one defense. So
Two things. I'm gonna try to text Lombardi and see if he can give us the total yardage from each quarterback. Like if Jimmy's 310, Trey's 215, and the other two are 90 and 100 respectively. I want to see that because that will tell you a lot. And from the videos, all the passes that are being dialed up to go
downfield,
it's Trey Lance. So I'm just saying that. And the second thing is I have a question for you guys. Let's just say hypothetically, how long has Trey Lance been a 49er? 40 days, 50 days, we'll say. We'll say 40 days hypothetically.
Into April.
Okay, so let's take Jimmy at 40 days with the 49ers, and let's take Trey at 40 days with the 49ers. In your opinion, who do you think is more prepared at the 40-day mark to run Kyle's offense? Meaning understanding it and running the offense.
Well, what did just because I don't remember when we picked up Jimmy? It was what, 4 weeks?
The day before Halloween, and he didn't play for 4 weeks.
So 4 weeks. So that's 40 days, less than 40 days. And he came in and won 5 games in a row to end that season.
Correct. But remember, it was New England principles that they ran.
Right, they played to his strengths because that's
exactly
where he came from.
Saying the ability to run Kyle's offense after 40 days. Who do you think is better right now?
I can't answer that because I haven't seen Trey yet. I mean, that's the problem.
But I'm gonna go with Jimmy Garoppolo because he played in the NFL. He was a starter in the NFL for 4 or 5 games. So he knew the speed of the game. He knew the mentality.
Yes.
Like that.
As far as game play, you're 100% right. I'm talking about running Kyle's offense. I don't care if it's versus 2s, 3s, 1s. Operating, making the reads, making the calls. Because if you listen to what they said today, Mike McDaniel said he's telling people what to do. This guy's 40 days in. Jimmy was never at that point at 40 days in. Kyle had to come up with the New England style offense to get him on the field. So I'm saying IQ wise, Trey's here, Jimmy's here, IQ wise. And that's the toughest thing. You need to be here to play at this level.
I mean, but even the defenders talked about being able to read Jimmy's eyes and not Trey. Like Trey's able to look him off. I mean, they talked about that. So, I mean, I understand your point. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Hey,
Brian,
which defender said that?
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember hearing it during the presser.
I know. I'm just trying to guess. Was it a one defender? Get where I'm going with this?
Yeah, I don't remember who said it. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I just remember hearing it.
This kid.
I'm not trying to dodge your question. I honestly don't remember.
And Breezy was on the Trey Lance wagon the whole time.
Yeah,
100%. I am not taking credit for it. I wanted Fields.
Not me. I wanted Justin Fields.
I thought Fields was the better quarterback, but I'm telling you right now, Trey Lance is the most prepared quarterback out of any of these quarterbacks, hands down, right now. And you could take competition and throw it out the window. His quarterback knowledge, control on the field, doing things that a quarterback needs to do in an NFL setting puts him number one. The only guy that's in a better situation is because he's going from scheme to scheme is Trevor Lawrence, going from that wide open air offense with Clemson to the same thing Urban Meyer is going to run. It's very similar.
Right. I still think well, I'm not going to get into that.
But I'm just telling you guys got to open your eyes with this because this kid is legit ready. And I know you guys Jimmy thing, but it's very concerning. Now, if you look at the statistics, it changed dramatically. Like Jimmy, his percentage was like 62, I think, on the previous one, and Trey was in the 50s.
56, right?
56.1, and he went up to 68. So that's a 12 point.
That don't raise a flag to you.
But it's against the Jews.
I would argue that, or I would counter that point with the caliber of secondary he's playing against.
Okay. So let me counter you.
Sure.
We all started this whole podcast saying what? This front line is the deepest position on this team. Am I correct?
The defensive line, yes.
Yes. And Mike said something that caught my attention, that it's not considered playing with the ones unless you have the one offensive line in front of you. Am I correct?
That's what Mike said, yes.
Okay. So now you're putting a strength versus a weakness, and this kid is still ripping the ball. Still ripping the ball.
I get where you're going with it. I guess maybe I'm not getting my point across. I'm not talking
I know what you're saying. Believe me, I know your theory.
It's the secondary.
Jimmy's won. I know that. Jimmy's a winner. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, and people in the chat, and you guys might not like what I have to say, Jimmy's one of 11 people on the team on an offense. One of 11. I've yet to see a game where maybe one, where Jimmy single-handedly beat a team. Single-handedly said, guys, get on my back. I'm going. He hasn't done that. He hasn't done that.
I will concede that argument very quickly. You're right.
Go ahead. Don't say the New Orleans game.
No, I'm saying I concede to you on that. That is definitely, that's a fact.
So the problem is, like, if we're agreeing on this and we're agreeing on that and we're agreeing on this, the issue here is I don't give a shit what the money situation is. To me, I would never pay a backup quarterback $25 million, even if we have it or we don't. You have a kid that you invested, what we invested in, to go up and get, that was hand selected and picked by this regime, to say, I want this guy. Why? And I said, I think I said this to Wayne in a text. I said, everyone is overlooking that program. That's 3 NFL caliber quarterbacks coming out and came out and were successful. You had Wentz go to a Super Bowl. Granted, he got hurt and he didn't win in the Super Bowl, but he prepared and started. You have I forgot the kid's first name, but I think his last name is Stick or something.
Yeah, he's the backup in San Diego, I think.
Who's with the Chargers as an undrafted free agent and is proving his worth. You have Trey Lance. All these guys came out ready to rip. You got to give that
run.
I'm not trying to take anything away from Trey Lance, because I agree with everything you guys are saying. I'm just saying I haven't, until I can see both players play against the same defenses, I cannot make that call. But my perception is that the team, not Brian, the team will stick with Jimmy until Kyle is ready to anoint Trey and tie his career, the rest of his career, to Trey as the winning quarterback that can take us to the Super Bowl. And I don't get that feeling from Kyle yet. I don't feel like he's ready.
Yes. I mean, if Jimmy starts the season off 0-4, then Trey will be
then you're going to see it change. Yeah.
Right. And so we know that, but we just got to sit back and wait and see, man. It would suck. I just don't think Jimmy can lose one game. Like the pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the greatest pressure he's ever faced in his entire life. More pressure than mess with the porn star and trying to keep it a secret. He's going to have to really figure out how to never lose a game, how to put the team on his back, Tony, and sometimes go out and win. Because you know how Detroit's defense is going to come out week 1 and put 8 in the box, maybe even 9, and they're going to force Jimmy to throw the ball. Guess where? Down the field. And he's not going to be able to do it. And that's going to cause issues. And then you might see turnovers. And then next thing you know, all I'm saying is Jimmy is not a bad quarterback. But when you have a better option and you're not playing that option because you're saying, you know what would have been a better analogy, Nick? You know how you mentioned the Christmas toy? Let's talk about a car and it ain't got the right tires or something yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe Trey Lance, we waiting on the right tires to come in the mail or something like that for him to go in. And so that's the issue. The issue is Trey Lance is the better option. He's the better car. He's a newer car, better car, got all the bells and whistles, got the better engine, got the better equipped stuff. It's just that something is missing, and it's probably the installment of the playbook. And so without that, but why do you want your rookie to learn the whole damn playbook right away? Like, I don't get it. Like, why can't that rookie come in and learn a portion, master it, execute it, win you some games, then add another installment of it? I mean, I know it's hard to install it during the season, but my money's on Trey because they spent the damn capital on him. So I just, on top of that, I just felt like you guys keep talking about winning. Dude, this dude lost one freaking game in his collegiate career. He's a winner
against almost zero NFL talent.
It doesn't.
But that's the same with Josh Allen.
Winning is winning.
But Jimmy Garoppolo has only lost 9 games in his entire NFL career.
And he hasn't played that much either. Sample size sucks. So you can't even compare him to a lot of
but if you're but what I'm saying is you're taking 16 you're taking 16-1 at 17 games.
I'm saying he's a winner. What I'm saying is he knows how to win. So he has that he has the capability. Just as much as you're saying Jimmy knows how to win, so does Trey Lance. Jimmy just has won against NFL competition, and Trey Lance hasn't yet.
Right.
But winning is winning. If you're a winner, you're a winner. And that mentality is something that you can't teach. So you want a person with that type of mentality to come in. You want that person with that mentality.
I just don't want Tony to forget his thought process. He was going to say something.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta take it. I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, I gotta get ready to get out of here too because I gotta get up at 2:30.
Tony, let me hear this.
What were you going to say, Tony?
Wait, give me a second. I gotta try to get it back.
Damn
it. Number one, all these players are gushing about Trey. They're gushing about him. The Jimmy talk, it's you hear it sparse here and there, but this team is buying. They're buying into this kid, and if there's anybody that's going to take this kid and put him in the best position to be successful, it's Kyle Shanahan, and that's why he gets paid what he gets paid, and that's why he got an extension. So the other on the flip of this is what everyone is totally just not even seeing the versatility of the offense when he's at center compared to what it is with Jimmy.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
a whole dimension that's been added to this team.
Right. Because when you have the ability to go and take off and run, like we saw with Cap or with Lamar or anybody like that, they can take the game to a whole different level because then they can put it on their back and just go.
It's not even the running part. If you look at what happened yesterday, where he rolled to the left. He rolled to the left and created time. And he launched the ball 50 yards down the field for a touchdown and dropped a dime into the receiver's hands right over the defensive back's head. That is talent. I don't care what level you come at. It's talent. You have guys fighting for their lives on this second squad, and this guy's still beating them. I understand they're second-tier players. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Maybe they're the players from North Dakota State Division or something. Lighting their ass up. I'm just saying.
He only played against 3.
In practice, I'm going to tell you straight up. What he's facing in practice, he's never faced at that level.
That's my point, Tony. That's my point. That's exactly
he
my
hasn't faced
point.
the competition that he's facing currently. And the competition that he's going to face every Sunday is even more elite than what he's facing in practice right now.
That's good. I understand. You're 100%. But we did all agree earlier that some of these guys that are twos on his defense will be starters on teams.
But not in our secondary. Correct.
Did we not? You have a safety that's tearing it up due to an injury right now to Tart that would revert to the second team.
Did y'all talk about Tavon Wilson?
Yes.
Wilson. All right. Ambry Thomas was considered a top.
He would have been a
top 5 corner in the draft coming out.
He would have been.
Now he's not talented. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you say he would have been?
He sat out for COVID, man. That hurt his chances of getting drafted in the first round. He's a lockdown man-to-man corner lock.
This thing is a lot closer than what people want to say. And if you look at Mike Silver's tweets, I think I put in a group chat. There's a 7-box tweet that he did.
Yeah.
This team's buying in on this kid, and Mike Silver's got very heavy ties to that organization, and I don't think he would blow smoke up anyone's ass.
Okay.
I can't wait for next Saturday because I'm going to be there. And even if he has to play against Kansas City's twos, at least I'm going to get to see it in person. I don't think that, and I've said this many times already in the last month, whatever. This team couldn't be in a better situation as far as their quarterback room right now, I think. Because I don't think you can lose. Whether you start with Jimmy and you let Trey sit, or Trey beats out Jimmy and Jimmy's your backup, and you got Nate Sutfeld as number 3 holding the clipboard. I just don't – and you put Josh Rosen on the practice squad or whatever you end up doing. I just don't see a team with a better quarterback situation than what we have right now. We are going to be amazing this year.
He's probably going to start. Jimmy will probably start. It is what it is. I'm just trying to make a case why I think he should start. But if Jimmy starts, that's fine. But I'm still going to tell you this. The offense is still going to be restricted with Jimmy at that quarterback spot, and that's all it comes down to.
Right. It comes down to the weapons with him because Jimmy's not himself a weapon, realistically.
Yeah, and he's not going to go down the field. It's going to be the same stuff with the jet sweep, the bubble, the tunnel screen, all that crap, that intermediate crossing shit, the middle of the field.
Stuff that get players hurt.
He's got to prove to be more accurate in that because now they're going to sit on it. It's going to make it very hard.
I'm not, don't take it the wrong way. I'm not talking down about Trey. I just want to see them have equal competition. So I'm ready for that. Whenever Kyle decides that Trey's ready to step up with the ones and we can see those, then you can look at those numbers. That's gonna tell me a lot more than what we're seeing now. As far as
My
I'm
question to that is, do you honestly think they're going to see a true number one defense in practice? They're not going to hit the quarterback.
No, but they're still going to see the same players when they're playing ones. You know, when Trey is when Kyle elevates Trey to play, if they make it a competition, whatever you want to say, you know, and they move him up there, he's going to be playing against the same. Now I have a control. Now I know how Trey is going to deal with Bosa and Ford, and I know how he's going to deal with Verrett and Fred. You know, right now I'm not seeing that, and I want to see that.
I'll agree with you to one point, and that's windows to make throws, and that's it.
But those windows are a lot smaller when you're talking about your elite players.
Other than pass rush, he knows in his head he's not getting hit. He knows.
Right.
So you could take that theory. I don't think that's a legit theory to come in and say, well, he's going to face Bosa, Ford, this, Kinlaw. They ain't touching him. If they do, they're going to
get put their hands on him. They just can't take him to the ground. So I still think in the difference between, what you're seeing out of whoever's on the second team defense as defensive ends is going to be different than what you're getting out of, Ford and Bosa, or even Ibukam if he's the one that's rotating or however they do it. You're just going to see different guys. And so, while I think that Trey's going to be amazing, until I can't make that decision for myself until I see them playing the same competition. That's all I'm saying. And whenever Kyle decides to make that happen, I look forward to that. But for me, I we talked about earlier in the chat, I know he's going to be facing Kansas City's 2s and 3s because it's the first preseason game. But I just want to see him with my own eyes, not a picture or a video that somebody at training camp, because training camp's still not game speed, So it's like that's what I want to see, and that's why I was super excited about seeing the Kansas City game.
It's funny because we used to all praise Jimmy on his releases, how he could get the ball in tight windows, how he could throw the ball before the receiver was there. All this stuff we used to praise Jimmy for, now that is all out the window.
But the thing
is so much out the window. I think that he had a hard time recovering from his injury. It seems to be in his head.
No, once they found out the weakness of Jimmy, they adjusted the teams where they played the 49ers. They're forcing Jimmy to make throws that aren't his strength.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how we started when he came here, his quick release. Yeah, he's got a quick release. But guess what? You got two middle linebackers sitting in between the hashes. I don't give a shit how quick your release is. You're getting picked because they're sitting.
Right.
But I
think what truly will make Trey special is his ability to move out of the pocket and have that breakdown, like extending plays like Russell Wilson does. That's what's going to make him more.
Now, that's another
more special than what we see.
And it's just going to make our defense that much better.
If Trey Lance, I'm going to give you a scenario. If Jimmy Garoppolo sits in the shotgun and does an RPO with Kittle running, an RPO with the running back, hoping the linebackers jump up for the run and Kittle running right behind them, like on a crosser, a shallow crosser, Jimmy can make that throw because they're biting on it, right?
Yeah.
But if they make an adjustment to not bite it, knowing that he's going to run the ball, and they make an adjustment on their outsides, is crashing upfield to take away the outside zone, now Jimmy has to make that throw.
Right. He's got to make the high point. Because that's the situation where he gets receivers hurt.
If Trey Lance is in the shotgun and he does that same thing, he reads the defensive end, he fakes the handoff, that defensive end bites the handoff, that edge is gone. Guess what? Your linebackers could sit there and have a cup of tea. He's taking the edge and he's gone.
Yeah.
Something Jimmy doesn't do. Yep. Something defensive coordinators need to plan. That's why I think Trey Lance gives this team the best chance to win because it's causing coordinators to play the 49ers in a different way. They have to be honest. They can't cheat. They can't jump routes. They can't play. We know where they're going. It's not going to happen with this kid because he's going to smoke them. Now, the difference between Kyle and Trey can make the throws. Trey improved on his mechanics since he came out of college. He's making throws. He's dropping dimes on long passes. He's throwing outs. He is a better thrower. He might not be as fast as Trey. Trey might not be as fast as Cap, but a better pocket quarterback when he needed to be. But he does offer the versatility to keep that defense honest. And that's all it comes down to.
Well, and I think he's got a better, like, if you're going to compare the two, I think that Lance also has a better stride for downfield running than Cap does. His movements, his functionality was just not loose enough, whereas Trey seems to be able to move more freely down the field.
No, yeah, but listen, I'm just trying to – it's probably going to be Jimmy. You're right, but what I just don't want to happen is this is the NFL. You need to win. You need to win games. And I don't want to see them forfeit potentially coming out the gate 1-3, 2-2, whatever it is. And you're at week 5, you're 500, where you could come out the gate maybe 3-1 or 4-0 because no one has seen this kid. They don't know what Kyle's going to do. And that's a part of the reason why I think Kyle's keeping his friggin' mouth shut.
Sure. He's playing the chess game. You could argue the other way too. Not that I want to, but you could argue the other side and say, Trey comes out and he just can't deal with the stage might be too big. Who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. And I don't think that will be the case. But I'm saying until we actually see it happen, we're not going to know.
Yeah, it all boils down to who's ready. If Trey's ready, he'll be in there. If he's not, I think Jimmy still starts this year off. It's all going to come down to the smarts of the coach, and this is where Kyle Shanahan's going to have to be, smart in sense as in if it's really time to start Trey Lance, don't hold off, start him. If don't let it get too far behind with Jimmy, and don't just wait for an injury. If Trey is ready to go, if Jimmy's, let's just say 2-2, good record. Most people would die to have a 2-2 record, right, going into week 5. That's usually average, right? And Trey's ready, then make the start. Like, you have to be the coach. You have to take control and do what's best for your team. Now, if Jimmy's out there and he's balling out and he's 4-0 and Trey is ready, I don't see doing the change. I don't see messing that chemistry up of a team that's winning 4 games. I understand that it'll help us with the ability to add the run, throw the ball deeper. But if we're winning games already, sprinkle him in here and there. Let him get different looks. Let him get different things. Because we don't know what Trey will bring in a game setting. And if you start off 4-0, and not to say that he's going to do bad, because I don't think that he's going to do bad, but look, if Jimmy starts off 4-0, 5-0, and somebody comes in and trades and says wants to give you a first rounder and Trey's ready, take it. If you don't get a trade offer, stay with the hot hand. Right. Like, don't mess up the chemistry that you have amongst the team. I don't want to say locker room because people seem like they like Trey Lance. So it'll be interesting, man. Look, either way, I don't give a shit who's behind or under center as long as we're winning football games. And that's pretty much how I feel. I'm excited to see Trey Lance. I'm excited to see Jimmy Garoppolo with a big-ass chip on his shoulder that I think he has, because I think Jimmy plays a lot better when he's desperate and he plays pissed off.
No,
I think he's a whole different person.
Right. And we've seen that, like, after he throws picks, he comes back with a vengeance, like he has something to prove.
Yeah,
he doesn't let it bother him, but he actually goes out and seems like it improves his play because he's got a chip on his shoulder now that not, play better.
So it'll be interesting. Look, it's not far away. We're gonna get to see these guys one way or another, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's look. In the end, it just matters. The biggest thing that matters is everybody stays healthy as much as we possibly can. Because if we have a shit ton of other injuries, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. So, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, Trey doesn't have to come in because of an injury or because the team is doing bad. So,
And I think, and to address, like, I see it a lot in the chat, and I hear it a lot on media and stuff, fans and stuff on social media, that the Colts seem to be like a great place to trade Jimmy to. Well, first of all, if the Colts do end up saying that they're going to upgrade at quarterback due to the situation they're currently in, connect the dots. Jimmy's contract will preclude that from happening, and Nick Foles has a relationship with the head coach. That's probably where they're go to fill in until Wentz is back. So, I mean, it's a cheaper option. It'll cost them less draft capital to get Foles, from the Bears than it will to try to get Jimmy. So I don't see the Colts as a true option for someplace for Jimmy to go. And remember, Jimmy still has that no trade clause. So he has the ability to overwrite. Now, if he wants to get paid, he'll go over where somebody's going to pay him, whatever trade partner of the Niners, fine. But if he truly wants to pick his own destination, he has that ability.
Yeah. And I'm just ready to be done with the whole Jimmy Trey talk. Like, I'm so over it. I'm just ready to get the season going on. And but yeah, guys, I miss the hell out of you guys, man. And
no, you're always working, man.
I know. I appreciate you guys all holding it down. So just hopefully we'll get together in obviously in Philly. But either way, Tony, you got any final thoughts, bud?
No.
I'm ready to hop up out of here.
I'm just ready to go to bed.
Yeah, me too. I got to be up in 2.5 hours. Still got to take a shower. So, and then work another double tomorrow. So, Brian, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if Mike's coming back, but same as always, be good to each other. Root for the 49ers. It's the team. I know there's a competition happening and people have their favorites, but remember the overall consensus is we want the 49ers to get a 6th trophy, right? We want them to be successful. So support the team. Things will fall into place. Trey is the future. It's going to happen. Just keep your thoughts out there to keep the players safe and all those kind of things. And again, thanks to everybody who supports this channel. Thanks to the crew for letting me be here for the last year, and hopefully there's more years to come.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate all you guys. Appreciate the fan base as well. Well, the faithful, I guess you could say. If you guys are interested in NB Niners flag, I know a couple people were asking. Hit me up on Twitter. We'll put an order in for those, and then we'll get that going. So 49er Faithful 365. It's right there on my screen. I know Tony's got one. Tony, you got one, right? Did yours come in?
Yeah, I got it.
I got one.
And Brian, yours came in too. All right. But yeah, guys, man, mad love. Debbie says happy anniversary, Brian.
Thank you, Miss Deb.
Happy anniversary. I didn't know it was your anniversary. I haven't been really on social media or anything else. So
it'll be Saturday, actually, but I know I'm not going to be. We won't be back together before then, unless there's breaking news for something crazy. But
yeah. So all right. Well, Mike's here. I don't know if he's gonna.
Mike made it back in time.
We're about to hop up out of here. So.
Oh my God!
Now?
Are y'all signing out?
Yeah.
No, we can't.
No,
don't sign out now. Oh, here's my bartender. Her name is Erica. Shout out to Peter's Place. Okay.
Wait, I thought you were going to take a shower, dude. What the hell?
I did not say I was going. I did not say I was going to take a shower. Is that what I said?
Showers.
Yeah.
I said I was going to take a shower.
He said, "I got to get out of here. I got to go shower."
Oh,
well,
maybe not.
We had to go out before we.
Nick said he had to go take a shower earlier. Sorry, that's my bad.
All right, I'll shut up. Y'all finish the show.
No, we're not. I'm getting out of here, man.
We gave our final thoughts. You got any?
I definitely have to get a shower. I'm not going to the bar. I'm Liz.
Woo!
Y'all have never seen my wife before. This is a rare moment.
Yeah,
a rare moment right here.
I've seen her.
I've seen your wife.
Shows. Mike,
y'all have seen my wife, but the viewers have never seen her before.
Oh,
yeah.
That's her first time on the show.
That was a little cameo right there.
That's the cameo. That's gonna call. You guys got to send in donations of $40. Melissa just gave a cameo.
I need $40.
My wife reminded me to tell you that she still wants to do that wives show.
The wife show?
Yep.
My wife don't want to do it. I've been trying to. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. But let me say this though, real quick. Nick was cooking when it was time for me to get off the show. I took my camera down and everything and my mic off, but I was listening And I was like, oh, man, this dude is lucky I'm not still on the show right now. Nick was hitting y'all with some really good topics as soon as I walked away. And I was mad as hell. I want to end on all of those topics, but I was like, all right, it's cool. I'm going to walk away. It's cool. I'm good.
I still love you, but I'm getting out of here. My final thoughts are already done. I got to get a shower and get some sleep.
We should start up a whole new show. Who's tired? Tony, you ready to rock? Let's go. Let's go.
Brian will stay on with you. Brian's ready.
All right, fine. All right, we can go. I'm going to shut up.
That's it. You got final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts.
Oh, y'all really at the end? Okay, final thoughts are this. Listen, man. Regardless of it's Jimmy G or Trey Lance, regardless of if you think it's going to be week 1, it does not matter. We have to cheer for the Niners. And here's the truth. The truth of the matter is that Kyle is going to do what he thinks is best for the team. If Jimmy gives us the best opportunity to win weeks 1 through weeks 16, 17, 18, that's what he's going to do. Do not worry about how things play out. Kyle's going to put us in the best situation. You have to trust the coaches more than you trust your own instinct. That might be hard for some people, but, that's where we are right now. I love it. I'm here for it, and I'm ready to see what the 49ers do in 2021. I'm done.
Yes. Sign us out, Mike, because you're good at the point, and I'm not.
All right. Here comes the point, and you guys ready? Y'all ready? Here we go. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
We out of here.
Mahalo. And
Peace.